हमारी अतिथि CSIR-IIP में आ चुके हैं और बस कुछ ही क्षणों में सभागार में आने वाले हैं। आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि कृपया अपनी सीट पर बैठ जाएं। सभागार से बाहर खड़े और हुए सभी लोगों से मेरा अनुरोध है कि कृपया अंदर आ जाएं और सीट पर बैठ जाएं। आज की मुख्य अतिथि व विशिष्ट अतिथि CSIR-IIP के प्रांगण में आ चुके हैं। स्वागतम सुस्वागतम। करतल ध्वनि से अतिथि का प्रेक्षागृह में स्वागत है। सुप्रभात, नमस्कार एंड वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। मैं ज्योति पोरवाल आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन करती हूँ। अतिथि देवो भव कहती ये भारत की धरा, स्वागत करके आपका निभा रहे हैं परंपरा। हमारी परंपरा रही है अतिथि सत्कार। एक बार पुनः मैं IIP परिवार की तरफ से आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत व अभिनंदन करती हूँ। मैं उपस्थित सभी विद्यालयों विश्वविद्यालयों से आए हुए अध्यापकगण, छात्र एवं छात्राओं का भी हार्दिक स्वागत व अभिनंदन करती हूँ। सभागार में उपस्थित सभी लोगों की उनकी गरिमामयी उपस्थिति के लिए भी हार्दिक अभिनंदन करती हूँ। मैं आज के कार्यकारी निदेशक डॉक्टर N विश्वनाथन एवं डॉक्टर उमेश इंस्टीट्यूट एकेडमिया कोऑर्डिनेटर के से अनुरोध करती हूँ कि वो कृपया मुख्य अतिथि व विशिष्ट अतिथि को लेकर मंच पर आएँ व अपनी सीट ग्रहण करें। व मैं श्री अंजुम शर्मा CSIR-IIP से भी मंच पर आने के लिए आमंत्रित करती हूँ। माननीय मंत्री डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह विज्ञान और तकनीकी मंत्रालय के दिशा निर्देशन में CSIR अपनी सभी 37 लैब्स में वन वीक वन लैब अभियान के तहत विभिन्न आयोजन कर रहा है और इसके तहत CSIR भारतीय पेट्रोलियम संस्थान में 13 अप्रैल से 19 अप्रैल 2023 में वन वीक वन लैब की विभिन्न कार्यक्रम श्रृंखला कड़ियाँ आयोजित हो रही हैं और इस प्रोग्राम वन वीक वन लैब कैंपेन में कुछ स्पॉन्सर्स का प्रमुख योगदान है। वो इस प्रकार हैं: MRPL, IOCL, ONGC, एनर्जी सेंटर, शुड केमी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड। और आज इस श्रृंखला का 6वां दिन है। CSIR-IIP के प्रांगण में इंस्टीट्यूट एकेडमिया कनेक्ट प्रोग्राम में आप सभी का एक बार पुनः स्वागत एवं हार्दिक अभिनंदन। I request Dr. N. Vishwanathan, Officiating Director CSIR-IIP, to kindly present bouquet and अंगवस्त्र to our Chief Guest Dr. Sarath K. Pradhan, Director THDC IHET, Tehri, Uttarakhand. Now I again request Dr. Vishwanathan, Officiating Director, to kindly present bouquet and angvastra to our guest of honor, Dr. Mukesh Kumar Barua, Dean of Students Welfare and Professor, Department of Management Studies, IIT Roorkee. Now I request Sri Anjum Sharma, Senior COA CSIR-IIP, to kindly present bouquet and angvastra to our guest of honor, Sri Abhishek Rajvansh, Joint Director, Head in Central Institute of Petrochemicals, Engineering and Technology, Dehradun. Now I request Dr. Umesh, Institute Academia Connect Coordinator, to kindly present bouquet to Dr. N. Vishwanathan, Officiating Director, CSIR-IIP. I again request Dr. Umesh to present bouquet to Senior COA Sri Anjum Sharma ji. यह हमारी रीत रही है कि विद्या की देवी माँ शारदे को नमन करके कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करते हैं। तुझसे ही तो वाणी है, तुझसे ही सब ज्ञानी है, तुझसे ही तो वाणी है, तुझसे ही सब ज्ञानी है, तू जहाँ है माँ शारदे उसकी सफल कहानी है। माँ शारदे को नमन करते हुए मैं मंचासीन सभी गणमान्य अतिथियों से अनुरोध करती हूँ कि विद्या की देवी माँ शारदे को याद कर दीप प्रज्वलन कर कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करें और माँ की वंदन करें।
या कुन्देतु तुषारहार धवला, या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता, या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा, या श्वेतपद्मासना, या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः
धन्यवाद गणमान्य अतिथिगण। नाउ आई इनवाइट डॉक्टर उमेश, इंस्टीट्यूट एकेडमिया कनेक्ट कोऑर्डिनेटर एंड प्रिंसिपल साइंटिस्ट फॉर द ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन अबाउट CSIR-IIP. डॉक्टर उमेश।
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Good morning to all of you. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Pradhan, Guest of Honor, Dr. Barua, Sri Rajvanshi, Director CPET, our director, and students, teachers, colleagues, and friends. Very good morning to all of you. Today I am going to present about very brief about the IIP. So the Indian Institute of Petroleum, it was basically the idea of Institute of Petroleum was conceived in the 1959 in the cabinet delegation when they have interaction with the different scientists of the CSIR. So at that time, we were suffering about the various imports of the petroleum, and the ONGC was already established at that moment, and we were trying to establish the oil fields in India. But while we were establishing the oil fields, we have to analyze the crude oils, and not having the proper infrastructure for the refineries. So we have to build the refineries and technologies at that moment. So with that idea, the Indian Institute of Petroleum was established. So in 1959, after that one, so in September 60, it was started functioning at the New Delhi first, and that work was started at a very good pace, because in the 14th April of 60, it was the foundation day of our institute, so that was established then, and in September it has started functioning in the New Delhi. So within next 6 months, we were able to have the infrastructure for the functioning of the institute. Initially, when in the 60s, so our campus was looking like our tea garden, as well as you can easily see the Himalayan range, snow-covered, and ONGC was drilling in the nearby Dehradun areas. So the well drilling was going on at that moment. So this type of activities were there. But in the early 60s, so in the 61, we have first established our tech block sector, where the big reactors and the reactions, especially for the crackings and the other refinery requirements that were established at that moment. And in the early 61, our main building constructions were on the full swing, and in 63 onward, this building where you are also sitting here, this building was constructed. So that was the pace we have at that moment, and still it was very fast at that time. So during this period, our 9 directors has served the institute. First director was the J.W. Whittaker. He was the director from the IFP France, because initial 4 years from 1962 to the 66, we were in collaboration with the IFP France, so we were working with them. And later on, the several directors has served the institute and led this institute to bring it to the next level to compete in the area of the petroleum and the refinery sector, where they have established the technology and guided the young researchers to become the scientists in the petroleum sectors. And our last Amogar, he was also the Director General of CSIR for the time being. And our current director, Dr. Anjan Ray, he is the present director. So Anjan Ray is also bringing the institute to the new heights. So if we see that one, in the 70s, we were the established institution who were giving the facility for the field trials of the automotive sector. So the automotives, whatsoever, jeeps, buses, trucks, they were coming to the institute for their testing and the field trials. Even we were the far ahead of the time also. In the 70s, we were used the alcohol gasoline blend fuels and tested in the jeeps from the Dehradun to the Mussoorie roads, and it was successfully tested at that time. Now government is implementing at this moment, as well as the methanol diesel blend was also tested in the early 80s in the trucks. And we had tested the Haryana transport buses also for their quality and the better functioning on the required road. And we were not afraid to use the different type of activities or the research implementation. Our scientist has also tried to utilize the fifth wheel if it is possible for the city transportation, so have the carriers with that one. So that has also been tried. So the CSIR-IIP was established with the vision where we have to prepare the petroleum, petrochemicals and alternate fuels to use in the Indian petroleum refineries and industries, as well as to have the renewable carbon conversion from the conventional and the non-conventional energy sources. Also, we have the mission to provide the technology, products and services to the requirement of ever-growing our energy sector. So with this type of mission, we have the mandate to prepare the products as well as the process and technologies and next generation refineries and integrated energy complexes for the Indian energy demand. CSIR-IIP, as per the structure, the CSIR-IIP is led by the director, where director is getting the ideas or the inputs from the research council as well as from the risk management councils, and from that one we are having the R&D divisions, support divisions and the core common cadres to have the administrative, financial and the purchase activities here. And in this one, for the R&D, we have the very advanced research laboratories where we work in the advanced research, including the separation processes. This is the division where we have the rare footprints in the other other institutions, because we are able to separate and establish the various technologies in the refineries based on this division, as we do the liquid as well as the gas separation here. And we are having the light stock processing division, where we do the modification in the carbon molecules to have the requirement of the energy as well as the fuel. We are also having our distillate and heavy residue processing divisions, where the high carbon ends, so the bottom of the barrels or similar type of the products, they have been converted to the useful products and to enhance the refinery profitabilities as well as the product values here. And we are having the upstream. So this division we have recently started, I think 4 years earlier it is established. In this one we had not only on the downstream sector, we had started the work on the upstream, where the challenges we are definitely receiving from the different our oil fields, where they are facing the challenges in the oil fields as well as their transportation. So now we are working on the crude oil transportation and effective transportation, as well as the gas hydrates and various other allied fields. We are working on that one. In the biofuel, that is our remarkable division, where we have the biojet fuel, room temperature biodiesel. So these two are the remarkable current technologies we have from these divisions. Chemical and material sciences division has the working on the reduction of the carbon footprints, conversion of the carbon dioxide to the fuels and other molecules, as well as the development of the different polymers and the sweetening catalyst, as well as the corrosion inhibitions activities. They are very well involved in that one. In the material resource divisions, so that covers the different biotechnological uses and the biochemical uses for the enhancement and utilization of the renewable fuels, as well as the natural resource containing materials. So we can convert the biofuels from that one, alcohols and the other renewable materials from that chemicals. Our tribology division, that is have the state-of-art facility for the analysis as well as the preparation of the materials utilized for the lubrications. In the last meeting, our chief guest as well as our directors has always mentioned that one in detail, that if we are able to lubricate the system very well, we will definitely save the energy, and that energy is ultimately the help in the reduction of the carbon footprint. So that division is helping to have the reduction in the carbon footprint globally, and we are able to test even the helicopter lubricants, high pressure, very high pressure lubricants that is usually used in the hydro energy processes. Our TD director may emphasize on that one later on. And our automotive fuel division, as in the earlier slide, as already mentioned, that fuel testing and the vehicle testing, that is the part of that division, and that division is very active since beginning, and every year we are having the testing for vehicles from the different our clients like Tata Motors, Mahindra, and various more also there. And in this division, we are having the engine testing facility, lubricant testing facility, and direct vehicle, and they also do the field trial testing. And we are the second institute, we have only this facility after ARI in India. And analytical sciences division, without analytical sciences divisions, these divisions cannot function well, because without analytical support, the other core divisions cannot have the reliable scientific data. So that was about the scientific divisions we have. And from the last 64 years, we have our footprints in all over India, and I can proudly say that we have the technology, product or process in every refinery of India. So we have the all over in India in the petroleum sector. So we are very well diverse in the petroleum sector. So our remarkable technologies are the visbreaking, BT extraction, NMP, sulfur sweetening catalysts, CLO lubid extraction, and several many more we have. And at present, we are in the process to commercialize or already commercialized in the steps of that one. So that is the biojet fuel. IP developed fuel that is able to run the spice jet engine, and that it was used in the flight where for the confidence of the flight managers, our staff were in the flight to ensure that nothing will happen to their jet. If it is, we are there and our fuel is also there, so we were there. And biomedical grade oxygens, this was the remarkable technology we had achieved in the minimum time. I can proudly say it was developed within 1 year during the COVID time under the guidance of our director sir, and in the team of our adsorptive separation group, Dr. Somen Das Gupta and his team. They have done a remarkable job in that time, and they established the plant and tested everything. And previously, we have only the cryogenic technology. That was the time taking, has the limitation for the transportation from the gas for the gases. And during the COVID time, we were struggling for the transportation, and every hospital was in need of the oxygen. So in that one, so within 1 year, and also established the 108 plants in the different district hospitals all over India with the help of our government of India under the Prime Minister group and PNG burners. So future is the gas, we all know that. In Dehradun also we are going to have the pressure natural gas. So in the pressurized natural gas, we are when we use that gas is not compatible with our natural butane or our LPG burners. So that gives the shoot, and gas loss is also there. Efficiency was very less. So IIP has developed the specialized burners, and that technology has already been commercialized with the, I think, more than 40 agencies. So it is already in the market. So that has increased the fuel efficiency of the 15%, more than 15%. Recently, we had already have the 1 TPD plant, waste plastic plant, where we can convert the waste plastic to the gasoline, to the diesel, to the our waxes. As per the requirement, we can convert the waste plastic. So we can generate the revenue as well as the value from the waste here. And IIP has the contract from already established the MOU from the various agencies, where we can put the commercialized plants all over India. And the room temperature biodiesel, that is the DEAM project from IIP also, where we are having the biodiesel that can be converted at room temperature, because usually the biodiesel production is at the elevated temperature, where you need to the specialized reactors or something. But by the IIP catalyst or the process, anyone can convert at home, even by this blending by hand, even at their field. So the farmers as well as the household persons, they can prepare at their home biodiesel and utilize for their home consumption. That is also the one more achievement, the bio-PNG or the biogas. Usually biogas has the SOx, SOx, as well as the CO2 content in that one, and some nitrogen percentage is also there. So that reduces its fuel efficiency or energy efficiency. So to convert, make it to the highly pure methane gas, that can be pushed into the pipeline, so that can be blended with the other natural gases. So the bio-PNG technology has already been developed, and it is at the commercialization stage from the IIP. So that is also the one of the remarkable technology we have. And in case of the academia also, we have the global footprint. So we have the MOUs from the universities and the institutions from every corner of the globe, all over, from USA, Australia, Europe, African, as well as the Asian continent. And in the program and the courses, we provide the training. I can proudly say that we convert the chemical engineer to the petrochemical or petroleum engineers, where we have the training courses for the engineers from the all over India, as well as from various countries for the refining sectors. So where their engineers take the training at IIP, have in the different courses. We do the skill development program that is under the Government of India mandate, and we train from the post-graduation and graduation and less than graduates to give them the analytical trainings, our instrumentation training and other trainings. So we do the skill development of our students to have their better future in their sectors. We do also offer the PhD programs in the different streams, in the chemical sciences, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, biotechnology and biological sciences. And we do have the project assistantships for the hundreds of the project assistants every year, and from the Government of India. And we do the Jigyasa activities. That is especially the Student Scientist Connect program, where by the guidance of our Honorable Chief Prime Minister, so the students comes here, interacts with the scientists, do some involve in the research activities, as well as have our institute visit, as well as our scientists go to their colleges and interact with them, give them the lecture and motivate them to have a better science, because they are the future generation of our science. So we motivate them and inculcate the science in them. So in the Academia CSIR, we have the PhD graduate students 63, as well as enrolled 86, as well as the faculties, 62 faculties we have. And research works, we have the catalysis, advanced functional materials, adsorption, biomass, petrochemicals and green chemistry, lubricants and additives, CO2 to fuels, chemicals and energy, waste to wealth, as well as the petrol refining processes. So we offer the students in these areas the PhDs. So, and we have the very good papers in the recently. So in 2020-21, we have the more than 100 research publications. And this was a very brief about the CSIR-IIP. Thank you. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद सर, आपने संस्थान की हिस्ट्री से लेकर उपलब्धियों को विस्तार में बताया। 1960 में प्रारंभ हुआ, आज है भारत की शान। 1960 में प्रारंभ हुआ, आज है भारत की शान। नित्य नित्य ऊंचाई पर पहुँचे, ऐसा है यह भारतीय पेट्रोलियम संस्थान। नाउ आई इनवाइट डॉक्टर एन विश्वनाथन, ऑफिशिएटिंग डायरेक्टर CSIR-IIP, फॉर द वेलकम एड्रेस ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूट एकेडमिया कनेक्ट प्रोग्राम अंडर 1 वीक 1 लैब कैंपेन। डॉक्टर विश्वनाथन सर।
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Dignitaries on the dais, Chief Guest Dr. Sharad K. Pradhan, Director THDC Institute of Engineering and Technology, Tehri. Guest of Honor Professor M.K. Barua, Dean Students Welfare, IIT Roorkee. Guest of Honor Abhishek Rajvansh, Joint Director Head in Central Institute of Petrochemicals Engineering and Technology, CPET, Center for Skilling and Technical Support, Dehradun. Shri Anjun Sharma ji, Controller of Administration of our own CSIR-IIP. Event Coordinator Dr. Umesh Kumar. Colleagues, our own faculty of ACSIR and students of CSIR-IIP. A very good morning to all. At outset, I take privilege to welcome you all for today's event of Institute Academy Meet. As you are aware, today's event is a part of week-long 1 week 1 lab program, originated based on guidance of Honorable Minister of State for Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh to the CSIR. The Council of Scientific and Industrial Research has embarked upon a series of 1 week 1 lab activities, events, in each one of its 37 constituent laboratories of CSIR, under the guidance of Honorable Director General Dr. Kalai Selvi. Accordingly, the 1 week 1 lab activity has started at CSIR-IIP on 13th of April under the guidance of Dr. Anjan Ray, Director CSIR-IIP. We have an important event of Institute Academy Interaction, Connect, today here. Parallelly, the Industry Institute interaction is going on at Delhi. And it is an eventful of week to showcase our abilities, what we have done so far for last 75 years, and for how we have to go forward in future. We all are aware that academy is the base for any knowledge creation and knowledge output to serve the society in an ultimate manner. Academy provides base to the fundamentals and innovative research to serve the society and industry. Academy is a place where the basic concepts are seeded and knowledge base is nurtured in young brains to grow to serve the society. That eventually leads to the societal and industrial growth. With this very aim, CSIR has initiated its academy 10 years back, the Academy of Innovative and Industrial Research, CSIR. And now, we can enroll the doctoral students to pursue the basic and conceptual research for industrial growth. On the other hand, clear understanding of the industry needs help the academy to channelize its strength to connect industry and to reach out the society in a helpful manner. CSIR-IIP has established a strong interaction with various academy, universities, institutes and industries, national and international way. At long 75 years of successful progress, CSIR is showcasing its achievements and look forward to meet the industry and societal expectations to serve the society. We are in connect with, as Dr. Umesh's presentation we have seen, there are so many collaborations we have started with academy and institutes, and most of his presentation covers how it is technology development and how it is helpful even in COVID time, medical oxygen and other activities, and biojet fuel, plastic conversions like that, recycling and operations. And similarly in academy also we have a lot of collaborations like CNRS France, some of the important institutes to mention, CSIO and RMIT Australia, IITs and universities nationwide and international. This is all to bridge gap between academy and industry. The institute, CSIR-IIP, is mediating and facilitating the technology developments. Today, we have renowned academicians and institutional personnel here to give their valuable views on, to inspire us and to direct us towards the future achievements. And with this, once again, I welcome you all to this event and thank you very much. And I welcome the speakers to come with their views.
धन्यवाद सर, आपने वन वीक वन लैब कैंपेन के बारे में ब्रीफ जानकारी दी. रिसर्च इज क्रिएटिंग न्यू नॉलेज एज सेड बाय नील आर्मस्ट्रॉन्ग. ऊंचे पहाड़ों से छलांग लगाती हुई, अपने पूरे वेग से प्रवाह में आती हुई मैंने नदियाँ देखी हैं. ऊंचे पहाड़ों से छलांग लगाती हुई, अपने पूरे वेग से प्रवाह में आती हुई मैंने नदियाँ देखी हैं. अपने जल को ऊर्जा में बदलती हुई, अपने जल को ऊर्जा में बदलती हुई और घर घर बिजली पहुंचाती हुई मैंने नदियां देखी हैं. ऐसे ही जल ऊर्जा के क्षेत्र से जुड़े हुए मैं आज के मुख्य अतिथि डॉक्टर एस प्रधान को उनके उद्बोधन के लिए आमंत्रित करती हूं. डॉक्टर शरद के प्रधान इज एज डायरेक्टर THDC इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हाइड्रो पावर इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी टेहरी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ उत्तराखंड. Earlier, he was Professor, Mechanical Engineering, Dean, Corporate and International Relations, and Associate Director, NIT TTR, Bhopal. He did his PhD from Mechanical Engineering Department from IIT Delhi. He is a member of NBA Evaluation Team for Accreditation of Mechanical Engineering UG program. His research contributions include finite element model updating, structure dynamic design, optimization of machining parameter, simulation of manufacturing processes, robotics and additive manufacturing, and so on. I invite Dr. Sarath K. Pradhan.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to extend my sincere regards to Dr. Anjan Ray in his absentia. Just because of his dynamic leadership, the IIP is progressing like anything. After seeing the presentation by Dr. Umesh, we can easily figure out that the achievements and milestones achieved by this institute is like remarkable and awesome. Respected Dr. Vishwanathan, respected Professor Barua, respected Shri Abhishek ji from CPET, respected Anjum Sharma ji, COA, and the man behind this program, Dr. Umesh Kumar. First of all, I would like to extend my thanks for inviting me here and making me part of this ceremony. Looking at the achievements of IIP, it's really difficult to add anything to it. You are doing everything. But there are two things that I would see from the top as an outsider. There are two transitions happening around the globe. The very first is green transition, and the second one is digital transition. So these are the two transitions this particular generation is witnessing. And because of digital transition, when we look at our engineers, when we look at our scholars, there is one more additional skill has been added up, which is called digital skills. Apart from creativity, apart from innovation, apart from leadership, apart from a number of other soft and hard skills, this digital skill is now also added up because of this digital transition. So it is like right time. And why it is right time? Because three things happening together. Number one, the India is marching towards outcome-based education, because research scholars are sitting here, students are sitting here, since senior scientists are sitting here. And if you look at the India as far as like education point of view and research point of view, we are marching towards outcome-based education. Nowadays, education is not earning a degree. It is like, what are the outcomes which are visible and you are going to complete after completion of the education. So we are looking at outcomes, not at the grades in the mark sheet. The second thing which is happening in India is NEP 2020. Our national education policy is on, and it directly says that now the education should be multidisciplinary. We cannot say that this problem is related to mechanical and this problem is related to chemical and the third one is related to computer science. No, the problem has no name. It comes and you have to solve it. And for solving it, a team with different domains, expertise of different domains is required, or team with persons of specialty in different domains is required. So that NEP 2020 directly says that your approach should be multidisciplinary. The third thing which is happening in our system is because of the digital transition that I was talking about, and that is Industry 4.0, Industry Revolution 4.0. आज इंडिया औद्योगिक क्रांति 4 के अंतर्गत है, and this Industry 4.0 demands digital skills, whether it is cloud computing, big data analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, automation. All these things are like bringing digital transition in all parts of research and education both. And the good part about IIP is, after looking at the presentation, you are into green transition and you are also taking care of digital transition. But still, like, it is high time to expand the mandate from petroleum to more other fuel systems. Why not to have, say, a section related to hydrogen? Why not to have a section related to hydrogen and ethanol? And why not to have a section exclusively devoted for AI and ML? So when we talk of industry, academia, the very first thing which is required is institute interaction. Before going for industry interaction, we should try about the institute interaction. One department should try to interact with another department, and the expertise of both the departments should be utilized for the betterment of the institute. So try to start from the institute interaction and then jump over the institute academia, or sorry, institute industry or academia interaction. That is very much required, and that is why try to have some sections which are related to hydrogen, which are related to AI ML, and the third point which are related to green transition. And this green transition is particularly like very much required for our this whole area, which I generally call as land of mountains and rivers. जो आपके पास लैंड मिली हुई है, it is otherwise not available anywhere in India. It comprises of mountains and it comprises of rivers. It has natural beauty, but it also has natural constraints. Why not to think something in that direction? मैंने कई बार देखा है पहाड़ों पे आग लगी रहती है, और अब तो लगना चालू हो गई. हमारे एरिया में तो कई जगह आग लग रही है. एंड इट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ द फैक्ट कि वहाँ पर चीड़ के वृक्ष हैं, और उनसे जो वैक्स निकलता है इट इज़ इन्फ्लेमेबल, एंड थोड़े से कुछ करने से भी वो आग लग जाती है. एंड इट इज़ वेरी डेंजरस, एंड इट हैज़ वेरी डैमेजिंग इफेक्ट्स टू द सोसाइटी, टू द माउंटेन्स, टू द ग्रीन पार्ट ऑफ आवर कंट्री. वाई नॉट टू एक्सट्रैक्ट फ्यूल फ्रॉम इट? जो चीड़ का वृक्ष है उससे जो वैक्स है, आप बायोडीजल पे हैं, आप जेट्रोपा से बायोडीजल बना रहे होंगे और कई तरीके से बना रहे हैं. मैं कर्नाटका में गया था, देवर क्रिएटिंग बायोडीजल फ्रॉम नीम सीड्स, वो नीम के सीड्स से बना रहे हैं. एंड दैट इज वाई THDC हैव ट्राइड टू, बिकॉज नीम सीड्स को कलेक्ट करना, ये जो चीड़ का वृक्ष का वैक्स है इसको कलेक्ट करना इज रियली डिफिकल्ट. So what we have tried out a reverse umbrella concept to collect these seeds and wax. Once it has been collected, then it can easily be converted into biodiesel. So try to think in that direction for green transition. If you go to our THDC side, river side, there are a number of problems which are related to lubrication and which are related to corrosion. Why? Because everything is submerged in water. And like with THDC we can definitely start something which is related to corrosion and which is related to turbine related problems. Because at THDC we are also facing one more problem, that the gates which are there, huge gates are there, and huge leakage is also there. बाहर से बड़ा अच्छा दिखता है, डैम है, but if you look at the problems, huge leakage is there and it is difficult to identify. क्योंकि जब हम नीचे जाके कैमरा ROV भी देते हैं, the images are very like hazy. मुश्किल है पता लगा पाना कि what is the problem, whether the seal is broken or whether some debris is there, what exact, or whether the corrosion part is there. So that is another problem which is like urgently wants some solution to it, so that we can send something and we can try out to find out the related problems, the related research into it. For firefighting, we have already created drones with Cerebro Spark Pune. We are creating drones which can drop CO2 balls at the place where the fire is there, so that we can easily extinguish it. Otherwise, पहाड़ों पे जाके कुछ काम करना is too difficult. So try to do research for mountains, try to do research for rivers. Already you people are doing. Only you have to extend a little bit more to put your footprint in mountains also. You are already having collaboration with n number of international agencies. So nothing like that. It's very difficult to have collaboration with international agencies because they work on quality basis. And if your institute is having quality, then only they will collaborate. And I'm looking at the graphics displayed by Dr. Umesh. N number of countries are connected to IIP. It's really great. Try to bring some technology from that side, try to give some technology to them. And after this, like new government, we are like very confident that everybody is speaking with high respect about India. So now the collaboration is like easy, and collaboration is going to be fruitful for both the countries. The next important thing is, why not to start greening the curriculum itself? जो हम एजुकेशन की बात कर रहे हैं और एकेडमी और रिसर्च और एकेडमी और इंडस्ट्रीज का कोलैबोरेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, why not to try to green the curriculum? Whenever we are teaching some topics or some subtopics to my students, to my scholars in universities, curriculum is there, syllabus is there. If we give few hours, some time, just to green it. Greening means try to find out which part of that curriculum or syllabus is connected to green transition. And green transition comprises of environment, sustainability, society and ethics. If all these four things we will try to find out in the curriculum, our scholar, our engineer will be in a position to understand the issues. Issues are not like big. Issues are very like trivial and small, and they are related to environment and green part of our country. So why not to green it there itself, so that the teacher will take care of those aspects कि हाँ मुझे ये green part भी पढ़ाना है. जब मैं पेट्रोल पढ़ाऊँ या डीजल पढ़ाऊँ, I should also tell that it is going to have this much of pollution in the system. Why not to find out the solution for that? Why not to reduce pollution? Why not to go for some renewable or alternate energy sources or fuel systems? The fourth part that I would like to emphasize upon is, we are talking of digital system, we are talking of a smart system. So if you are doing research in lubricants, if you are doing research in fuel, if you are doing research in energy, Nowadays, everything is smart because of the digital transition. So the lubricant should also be smart. Sir was telling that lubricants means energy. If your lubricant is defective, you are losing energy. It's very true, correct. But lubricant should be smart also. It will try to change its properties as per the requirement. If suppose there is more viscosity required, the lubricant should be more viscous for that particular moment. And the next moment, it will become less viscous. And that can only happen if you go to a smart part of it, AI part of it, ML part of it. Why not to make your lubricant intelligent? Why not to make your fuel intelligent? So that it can take care of industry 4.0 requirements. Because industry has reached to 4th level. But sorry to say, the education is still at 2.0. So there is a huge gap between 2.0 to 4.0. And IIP like institutes or CSIR labs can only bridge this gap by creating a bridge from 2.0 education to 4.0 industry 4.0 requirement. So this is what is happening in the globe. Try to find out solution for all these transitions. And if suppose you have some idea related to water, related to corrosion, related to lubricants, related to some chemicals which can be used for extinguishing fire, we are there to support you, we are there to fund you. Try to collaborate with us, try to collaborate with even CPET. They are having a number of avenues and resources to share with you. So try to have a collaborative consortium in which IIT Roorkee, CPET, my organization, THDC India Limited can collaborate together to find out these solutions, to find out the solutions of problems which are related to mountains and rivers. We are also working on one more thing, waste management. Generally, people are thinking of converting waste into energy. But while converting this waste into energy, we are in fact investing much more energy. If you look at the present garbage collection system, we are collecting garbage from each house. That is called primary transportation. We are going to say 4 or 5 kilometers away, there is a nodal point. We are putting that garbage at the nodal point. Then big trucks are there. They are again taking that garbage and putting it say 15 kilometers away from the city. So 2 transportations are allowed, primary and secondary. And these transportation, they consumes diesel. And finally, they are polluting the environment. So on one time, we are taking care of this waste. हम चाहते हैं कि सारा कचरा निकले सोसाइटी से. On the other side, we are putting pollution through our primary and secondary transportation. तो जब हम वेस्ट से एनर्जी की बात करते हैं, try to understand, ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा कहीं हम कुछ और एनर्जी भी वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, which is much more precious than the present problem or present energy system. So why not to create some dustbin like earlier, which are consuming the garbage there itself. वो पूरा का पूरा garbage consume कर ले, forget about energy. हर जगह में एनर्जी नहीं बनाना, हर चीज़ से एनर्जी बनाना मे बी अ कॉस्टली अफेयर, क्योंकि हम दूसरी एनर्जी इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं उस एनर्जी को बनाने के लिए. एंड स्टिल आई एम ऑफ द ओपिनियन दैट एनर्जी कैन नॉट बी क्रिएटेड एंड कैन नॉट बी लाइक डिस्ट्रॉयड. एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन इज देयर. तो अगर हम कचरा उठा के कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं तो ऊपर से हम डीजल भी जला रहे हैं. सो व्हाई नॉट टू क्रिएट dustbins which are smart enough to consume everything there itself, and they may be in a position to convert say 1 ton of garbage into say 3 kg of ash, and that 3 kg ash can easily be transported to anywhere. It is a building material, you can use it for filling the potholes in the road itself. So out of the box thinking is required, and scientists and researchers are sitting in front of me, young students are sitting in front of me. Try to find out ways by which we can reduce this energy loss, or we can go for some other alternate ways of finding out solutions. I hope IIP is like marching very fast, marching in right direction under the leadership of Dr. Anjan Ray and the senior scientists and faculty members, the research scholars, the fellow members, research fellows. So I hope this institute is going to have high position in the research arena. With my best wishes to the institute, thanks for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspirational words. You talk about digital transition, green transition, and smart use of energy. We CSIR-IIP definitely will achieve goal in this direction. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, as Nelson Mandela said. Now, I invite our guest of honor, Dr. Mukesh Kumar Barua, for his address. Dr. Mukesh Kumar Barua is Dean of Students' Welfare, Professor, Department of Management Studies. He did PhD from IIT Madras in Supply Chain Management and MTech in Mechanical Engineering from IIT Madras. He has 25 years of teaching and research experience. He is visiting faculty in many national and international institutes. He published more than 100 research papers in national and international journals. I invite Dr. Barua.
Thank you, madam. Dr. Vishnatham, Officiating Director, IIP, Dehradun, Chief Guest of the function, Dr. Umesh, Mr. Rajvansh, Joint Director, CPET, Dehradun, Mr. Anjum Sharma, Dr. Umesh, respected scientists, faculty members, guests and students, welcome to this program. In fact, when I was called to attend this program, I asked Dr. Umesh, why me? So he told me that you can talk little bit about energy and petroleum. Though I work in the area of supply chain optimization, statistics, project management and quality. Later on I realized that energy and petroleum, both these things require efficient management. So before I talk about management of these resources, let me take you through a couple of traditional and latest sources of energy. So all of you are aware that we have had fossil fuels as the oldest source of energy. So we have got coal, oil and natural gas. There is tidal energy, is generated by the movement of ocean tides. We have got thermal energy, right? So we get thermal energy from volcanic activities, heat from sun and heat from earth. There are several renewable energy sources, solar, wind, hydropower, bioenergy and so on. Nuclear energy is also one of the sources, and we are producing nuclear energy as one of the cleanest sources of energy. Biomass is also a source of energy. So here we have got, we convert wood, crop residuals and animal waste as input, right? So you would have seen in the month of October, November in Delhi, we suffer problem of smoke, right? Fog plus smoke, right? And most of the problem is from stubble burning, right? So this is the way to solve the problem of stubble generation, right? Can we not have energy from residuals of crops? And Delhi government and there are several other institutions working on how to create energy from leftovers of crops. As the previous speaker just said that there is no need to create energy from everything. You see, you can create energy from waste. If you are losing some energy, it's okay. But if at the end of the day, you are generating more energy, then it's I think, a feasible solution. So look at city like Indore. Indore is the cleanest city of the country, and 6th year it has become the cleanest city. Indore had lots of mountains of waste, and from those mountains of waste now they are creating energy. So initial investment is very high when you convert waste into energy, but in long run I think it's a feasible solution. You have got the latest source of energy as hydrogen. Can be used as a source of energy through process called electrolysis, right? So electrolysis is a process by which you break water, that is hydrogen and oxygen, right? So use hydrogen as a source of energy and let the oxygen go in the environment. So oxygen is good for the environment. So when we talk about green hydrogen, the simplest term, the process of getting hydrogen from water through the process of electrolysis. How do we make green hydrogen? So you need just two inputs, right? Water and electricity. But is it a viable source? What are the challenges and what are the opportunities? So challenge is to get 1 kilogram of hydrogen, you need 10 liters of water, and India is already facing water scarcity. So shall we really go for hydrogen? We have to think. And I think there are several institutions, be it private or public, they are working on hydrogen fuel. So why we need hydrogen as a fuel? If we don't adopt cleaner sources of energy, then we would be polluting our environment like anything through carbon dioxide. So we need to have cleaner sources of energy, and hydrogen is one of them. If you look at China, it's producing 1/3 of its energy through hydrogen. Now, why India needs hydrogen? India need hydrogen because we are getting 80% of our energy in the form of crude oil from abroad, right? And we are spending like anything. So that is one of the reasons we should go for hydrogen as source of energy. There are several challenges as well. It is very expensive right now to manufacture 1 kilogram of hydrogen. You require around 320 to 330 rupees, and the petrol is around 120 to 130. But I hope that by 2030 the cost of hydrogen per liter would be around 160 to 170, and by that time the fuel price, that is petrol, would also have the same price. So after 2030 the cost of hydrogen would decrease and cost of petrol and diesel would be higher. There are a couple of cities in which the green hydrogen plants are available. So NTPC has commissioned India's first green hydrogen blending project at Hazira in Surat, and Gas Authority of India Limited has come up with the largest hydrogen plant. Now, Why to invest in green hydrogen? In fact, green hydrogen is widely recognized as essential to achieve global climate goals. So all of us are aware about sustainable development goals. So green hydrogen is the way to achieve one of the climate goals. So we are expecting that by 2050, 25% of the energy source would be from hydrogen. This is as per the report of Goldman Sachs. Now the question is, can we convert petrol car to hydrogen? Of course, but it would be very expensive. The mechanical engineers have to think about what kind of engines are required, what kind of fuel supply is required, what kind of transmission system is required, what kind of gearboxes are required. If you look at the companies which are working on hydrogen, the largest refining and oil marketing company, that's called IOCL, is coming up with a manufacturing plant at Mathura, UP. A leading state-owned power generation company, that is NTPC, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Union Territory of Ladakh. BPCL has signed a memorandum of understanding with Government of Kerala. So 3 public sector companies are working on hydrogen fuel. Apart from this, you would have seen that Ambani, Adani and Anand Mahindra, all of them are also in business of hydrogen. There are several research institutions working on research as far as hydrogen is concerned. We have got CSIR lab at Bhubaneswar, IISc Bangalore, IIT Delhi, Kanpur, Kharagpur, National Institute of Hydrogen Energy at Visakhapatnam, TIFR, all of you know, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, and Energy Research Institute at Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. Now this NTU has got MOUs with several Indian institutions. So why green hydrogen? First is, the reason is decarbonization. So green hydrogen is a zero emission energy source, meaning it does not produce any greenhouse gas emission when used as a fuel. So reducing greenhouse gas emission is a crucial to combat climate changes. One of the biggest challenges we are facing is pollution, right? Climate changes. So if you want to save our climate, this is the solution. The second reason we should go for green hydrogen is versatility. It's a versatile energy carrier that can be used in wide range of applications. It can be used directly as a fuel in various sectors such as transportation. For example, hydrogen fuel cells vehicles. We can use it in industry as well. For example, hydrogen as a feedstock for chemical processes, and it can be used for heating as well, heating of residential and commercial complexes. The third reason we should go for hydrogen is resource efficiencies, because hydrogen is available in abundant. It can be produced from a wide range of renewable sources, as I said, by water, then biomass and organic wastes as well. The next reason for going for green hydrogen is economic opportunities. So the development of green hydrogen economy has the potential to create new economic opportunities, including job creation, technological innovation and export opportunities. Finally, air quality improvement. As I told you, that it doesn't emit particulated matters, it doesn't emit sulfur dioxide, and it doesn't emit nitrogen oxides, which are harmful to the atmosphere. Recently, the Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari, said that we are looking for greener powertrains and fuel solutions. He reiterated that hydrogen and green fuel will be India's future. So the future of green energy looks promising, with increasing deployment of renewable energy technologies, advancement in energy storage and grid integration, electrification of technology. And there are several reasons for having a bright future of hydrogen as a new source of energy. Now, Professor Pradhan talked about collaboration. Of course, collaboration is very much required. A nation grows when you innovate, when you do research, when you have strong foundation of science and engineering. If you look at Indian Institute of Science and Tata as a group, so the Tata first started manufacturing steel because steel was the requirement of that time when we became independent. So the more focus was given on industries, and steel was one of the outputs. You can't have anything manufactured, you can't get anything manufactured without steel. And I am told that when the forefathers of Tata, when they visited abroad, that is USA, people laughed at him when he talked about starting Tata Institute of Science. But Tata's invested in fundamental research. So you have seen a movie called Rocket Boys, right? So TIFR was the institution which focused on fundamental science. So growth of a nation depends on fundamentals, research and innovation. If you can't research and if you can't innovate, then the second option is collaborate, right? Nowadays, almost all institutions are collaborating with other universities. Now, I am not saying that if you can't research, you directly go for collaboration. You do collaboration to whatever research facilities you are having to just augment those facilities, right? So research is very important, and whenever you do research, you should have some research problems, right? So try to find out research problems, and research problems are everywhere. As Dr. Pradhan said, in mountains there are several problems, right? Landslide is a problem, right? Fire is a problem. How to solve these problems? It's a difficult question. So far, and these fires are taking place in jungles every year. For last so many years, these things are happening. Still there is no solution, right? Why? We need to think out of the box, as he said. Let me connect the research with the supply chain, right? So supply chain is nothing but a process of delivering materials and services to the customer, wherein you have got different stakeholders involved, right? So when we talk about energy, we need to talk about how to store energy, how to price energy, how to transport energy. These are some of the issues. So towards end, in fact, I congratulate the organizers of this program for inviting so many people, especially students. I hope that after attending today's program, they will take something home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your motivational words. Definitely, we will work together. George W. Kurtz, education is a continual process. It's like a bicycle. If you don't pedal, you don't go forward. Now, I invite our guest of honor, Mr. Abhishek Rajvansh, for his address. Mr. Abhishek Rajvansh is working as Joint Director and Head in Central Institute of Petrochemical Engineering and Technology, CPET Center for Skilling and Technical Support, Dehradun. He worked at CPET's Panipat and Bhopal Center prior to Dehradun Center. He is Master Degree in Electrical Engineering. He has experience of 14 years working at CPET in the area of processing and testing. I invite Dr. Rajvansh.
मंचासीन सभी आईआईपी डायरेक्टर, एक्टिंग डायरेक्टर एज ऑफ नाउ, डॉक्टर विश्वनाथन साहब, एंड चीफ गेस्ट डॉक्टर शरद के प्रधान साहब फ्रॉम TSDC इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज टिहरी, एंड मुकेश बरुआ साहब, प्रोफेसर IIT रुड़की, सीनियर COA श्री अंजुम शर्मा जी, and program coordinator Dr. Umesh, who has invited me, and I am thankful to the management of IIP that they have invited me, and Dr. Umesh especially, who has called. We have a relation of past 2.5 years back when we have done MOU with the IIP, and I am honored to have a discussion or a talk with you on the Institute Academia Meet or Connect program, where the CSIR-IIP's scientists and the faculties are there, as well as the various faculties and students from the various institutes are available here. I may be the youngest person on the dais, I can say, and still कुछ हंसी आई लोगों के चेहरे पर. I am sitting and seeing कि after so much lecture it seems a boring talk and person are not keeping a smile. You can have a plastic smile. It is good for you and the person right sitting behind you. He can see your jolly face and forget the boring, if it will be there. But I don't think it is a boring, because whatever lecture from the IIP, Dr. Umesh has given the presentation about IIP, what they are doing from 1960. And the director sahab has for OL what have told ki what is the main motive behind this 1 week 1 lab program for the CSIR-IIP, which is being held all over the 37 laboratories of CSIR as of now. And TSDC Engineering College from Dr. Sarath sir has told already what they are doing, and his rich experience in various locations, as well as the NBA evaluators. Maybe he has gone to various universities, and I hope कि Uttarakhand he might not have came. So this may be the very first time he has gone to Tirhi directly. एंड जल विद्युत परियोजना अगर बात करें, माउंटेन्स एंड रिवर्स जो सर ने बोला, तो उसमें ही उनको डायरेक्ट काम करने का मौका मिला, बिकॉज TSDC इज डूइंग द सेम जॉब इन द टिहरी बेसिकली. एंड प्रोफेसर बरुआ फ्रॉम IIT रुड़की हैज ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन टू यू फॉर द ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन एंड द डिफरेंट एरियाज फॉर द पेट्रोलियम एंड एनर्जी, बिकॉज डॉक्टर उमेश हैज ऑल्सो टोल्ड द सेम थिंग टू मी कि पेट्रोलियम और एनर्जी में आप बता दीजिए. पेट्रोलियम की अगर हम बात करें तो एक्चुअली वी आर इन द फील्ड्स ऑफ द पेट्रोकेमिकल, तो वो पेट्रोलियम का ही एक पार्ट है, पूरा पेट्रोलियम को कवर नहीं कर सकते हम लोग उस केस में, क्योंकि देज आर द समवट डिफरेंट एक्सपर्टाइज एंड qualification things are required, but we are in the petrochemicals, and actually we are on the end use requirement, not the route for where the synthesis and other the manufacturing is being done. But still I have a few points to say कि हम लोग प्लास्टिक्स बेसिकली वर्ड यूज़ कर लेते हैं, क्योंकि आपने नाम सुना है सेंट्रल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ पेट्रोकेमिकल्स इंजीनियरिंग टेक्नोलॉजी. इट वाज प्रीवियसली प्लास्टिक्स इंजीनियरिंग टेक्नोलॉजी. वी हैव renamed our domain from plastics to petrochemicals to cover the more areas and do some research and R&D works especially for the society. And अगर बायोडिग्रेडेबल की बात अगर आप कर रहे हैं तो उसकी जो टेस्टिंग होके आ रही है वो सिपेट से ही आ रही है. मे बी many persons are knowing or not knowing, but this CSIR-IIP and having this industry institute connect, it says कि whatever the research scholars in your place are there or which our places are there, or the technologies which you people are working and we are working can be come together and for the betterment. बिकॉज न्यू डेवलपमेंट्स करना तो अच्छी चीज़ है, बट आज की डेट में देखें तो बहुत सारे मटेरियल्स या हम जो यूज़ कर रहे हैं, हाइड्रोजन या केमिकल्स की अलग बात करें तो ठीक है, वट एवर थिंग्स जो हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं एक्चुअली, तो वो डेवलप करना अमलगमेशन या मिक्स करके ही किया जा सकता है. कुछ फैसिलिटीज़ आपकी हों, कुछ हमारी हों, टेक्नोक्रेट्स हैं, आपस में नॉलेज शेयरिंग करें. Especially for the R&D sites, CPET, we have different 3 locations where we have set up our R&D centers, which who are doing the basic R&D jobs here. Dehradun center is a newly center which has came around 4.5 years back, but the working actual can be taken up after last 3 years only. वेस्ट की हम कन्वर्जन एनर्जी की अगर बात कर रहे हैं तो एनर्जी लेना है, जो भी मटेरियल हमारे पास हैं, चाहे वो प्लास्टिक्स मटेरियल्स हों, चाहे हमारे पास MSW का सॉलिड वेस्ट कचरा आ रहा हो. इंदौर का सर ने बहुत अच्छा जिक्र किया, देहरादून भी उस फील्ड पे लगा हुआ है करने के लिए, बट कहाँ तक वो सक्सेसफुल हुआ है वो आप लोग खुद जान सकते हैं. क्योंकि इंदौर में अगर कोई कचरे की गाड़ी जाती है कचरा लेने के लिए, तो वहाँ पर नीला और हरा डब्बे में ही वो डालता है और आप लोगों से बोलता है कि हरा और नीले डब्बे में ही कचरा रखें और वही हमें दें. बट देहरादून में भी नीली और हरी गाड़ी आती है और वो आपके साथ क्या करती है, आपके कचरे को अगर आपने सेग्रीगेट भी किया हो, तो अगर हम उसको एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट करने की बात करें तो आई एम सॉरी, वी आर अनएबल टू डू एज ऑफ नाउ. क्योंकि आप करेंगे अलग अलग और वो कर देगा एक ही साथ, तो हो गया काम. तो जो रिसाइकल करके एनर्जी कन्वर्जन में जाना है वो तो हो ही नहीं पाएगा. और इफ दैट सेग्रीगेशन विल बी टेकिंग एट द लैंडफिल साइट, तो कॉस्ट ऑलवेज मैटर्स. अभी कचरे वाला 50 रुपये से करके 70 रुपये कर देगा, तो आधे लोग तो बोलेंगे 70 रुपये कर दिया, आते हो हफ्ते में एक बार. तो कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्वमेंट इज अ मैनी थिंग विच वी हैव टू डू. और द सेम थिंग एज ऑलरेडी टोल्ड कि वट एवर द चैलेंजेस आर देयर, दोज आर बिहाइंड हैविंग द कंस्ट्रेंट बेसिकली विद द मनी. एंड इनिशियल स्टेज ऑफ मनी इन्वेस्टमेंट इज़ अ ह्यूज जॉब. तो उसके लिए जो स्पॉन्सर ज़रूरत पड़ती है, तो चाहे वो सर ने IOCL का नाम लिया हो या BPCL का है, बहुत सारे स्पॉन्सर्स यही हैं क्योंकि उनको ऑयल या किसी चीज़ों में लुब्रिकेशन में काम करना है, तो दे आर गोइंग टू डू दैट. पराली का एक बात हुआ कि सर ने जो बताया कि स्मोक होता है, तो पराली जी गडकरी साहब ने उस समय कुछ बोला था कि आई हैव हर्ड अबाउट 3-4 ईयर बैक कि वो कुछ करेंगे. फिर अभी कुछ बिहार का भी कुछ केस हुआ है कि पराली लेंगे, उससे कंप्रेस्ड हम लोग बायोफ्यूल बनाएंगे, बायोगैस बनाएंगे, और उससे 2 फायदे होंगे. किसान एक तो पराली नहीं जलाएगा क्योंकि वो बेचेगा, जिससे वो कंप्रेस बायोगैस बनेगा, फ्यूल बनेगा, तो हमको एनर्जी मिल जाएगी. और उसके साथ साथ पैकेजिंग का भी हम बात करें तो कन्वर्जन एनर्जी जो है सेव भी करनी है, बनानी भी है. तो पराली जो है उससे मैंने अभी एक जगह पे देखा था कि मशरूम का स्टेम जो होता है वो लोग यूज़ नहीं करते, क्योंकि ऊपर का हिस्सा बना के हम पिज़्ज़ा में डालें, सब्जी बनाएं, बट स्टेम नहीं बनाते हैं. तो स्टेम को मिक्स करके पराली के साथ मिक्स करके जो पैकेजिंग में थर्मोकॉल यूज़ हो रहा था वो बैन हो चुका है सिंगल यूज़ प्लास्टिक के हिसाब से. तो पैकेजिंग सॉल्यूशंस कहाँ से मिलेंगे लाइट वेट, तो वो उन्होंने पैकेजिंग का कुछ सॉल्यूशन बनाया था मशरूम के स्टेम्स को लेके और पराली को लेके, कि उसको पैकिंग करके जो स्ट्रेंथ उसको चाहिए, सपोर्ट चाहिए, दैट कैन बी डन. तो एनर्जी कन्वर्जन्स की बात करें तो एनर्जी एमिशंस भी कम हो जाता है, एनर्जी कन्वर्जन में भी कॉस्ट कम आ गई है, और एनर्जी कन्वर्ट करके बाय दीज टाइप ऑफ नवाचार हम इसको बोल सकते हैं, इनोवेशंस की. ऐसे तो कुछ भी नहीं है. हम लोग खुद घर में भी आज की डेट में देखें तो मिट्टी के बर्तन छोड़ चुके थे, लेकिन बाद में आज फिर हम वापस यूज़ करने आ रहे हैं. तो थिंग्स आर डिफरेंट, चेंजिंग, वर्ड्स इज चेंजिंग, एंड वी हैव टू चेंज आल्सो. जो भी इतने सारे रिसर्च स्कॉलर्स हैं यहाँ पर रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, तो देयर रिसर्च शुड बी मीनिंगफुल टू द सोसाइटी एज वेल एज दैट इज आल्सो द कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव टू द पीपल। एंड हम सब बैठे हुए हैं यहाँ पर, एंड जिस मंच का मुझे मिला है मौका, तो मैं आपसे बहुत से लोग हो सकता है सिपेट ना भी जानते हो। IIT रुड़की का नाम सबने सुना होगा, TSD इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज का भी नाम सुना होगा, सिपेट का नाम शायद कम सुना होगा बिकॉज दिस इज द वेरी न्यू बॉर्न सेंटर इन हियर। जस्ट आई विल टेक 1 or 2 minutes about CPET. We are 50-year-old organization in the field of plastics and of the petrochemicals as of now, under the Ministry of Chemicals and Petrochemicals and Fertilizers, Government of India. And we are working in the domain of which comes after the manufacturing of raw material, because we are not manufacturing the raw material. Raw material is being manufactured by the Haldia Petrochemical, Reliance, GAIL, Mittal has also came up with the BPCL. Mittal Energy has came up with the BPCL to Bhatinda mein, they are putting a refinery or for petrochemical manufacturing. And उनका जो लैब सेटअप हुआ है टेस्टिंग का, ये सिपेट ने किया है, क्योंकि उसके लिए रिक्वायरमेंट्स होती है उनको टेस्टिंग सेटअप करने के लिए कैसे क्या क्या करना है। तो जो कंसल्टेंसी और सेटअप किया गया है सिपेट के द्वारा, हल्दिया पेट्रोकेमिकल, गेल का और मित्तल एनर्जी का भी सिपेट ने ही अभी कर रहा है। बायोडिग्रेडेबल टेस्टिंग, अगर आप पन्नी यूज़ कर रहे हैं कि एक पन्नी यूज़ कर रहे हैं ना, कैरी बैग, आई एम नॉट अ प्लास्टिक बैग, आई एम बायो कंपोस्टेबल बैग, उस बैग की जो टेस्टिंग हो रही है, जो लाइसेंस उसको मिल रहा है, वो सिपेट की रिपोर्ट के ऊपर मिल रहा है। जो प्लास्टिक प्रोडक्ट्स आप लोग घर में अपने यूज़ कर रहे हैं, चाहे सुप्रीम का पाइप यूज़ कर रहे हो या नील कमल का फर्नीचर का, तो अलग केस हो गया, उसमें ISI नहीं चाहिए। बट ISI के लिए जो प्रोडक्ट्स आप यूज़ कर रहे हैं, सिपेट का रिपोर्ट उसके बिहाइंड है, तभी BIS ने उसको लाइसेंस दिया है ISI लगाने के लिए। आजकल बहुत सी कंपनी आ गई, बट पास्ट 50 years से ओनली सिपेट इज़ देयर। कुछ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को के प्रोडक्ट्स आ रहे हैं, तो दोज आर आल्सो फ्रॉम हम मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करके टेक्नोलॉजी सपोर्ट लोगों को दे रहे हैं, जो करके आ रहे हैं। वी हैव आल्सो MOU विद द IIP, जिसमें हमारे यहाँ के स्कॉलर्स और IIP के स्कॉलर्स एक दूसरे में एक्सचेंज हो सकते हैं, फैकल्टीज़ एक्सचेंज हो सकती हैं, फैसिलिटीज़ हम लोग एक्सचेंज कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि कुछ ऐसा नहीं है कि गवर्नमेंट भी चाहती है कि पैसा लगाया जाए, क्योंकि IIP भी कुछ मशीन खरीदेगा, हम भी खरीदेंगे, पैसा तो गवर्नमेंट का है। तो गवर्नमेंट के फंडिंग्स को अगर कोलैबोरेट किया जाता है तो यूटिलाइजेशन कैन बी डन बेटर इन अ बेटर वे। एंड वी हैव द एनेबल लैब एंड वी आर offering the we are running the diploma programs, BTech programs, MTech, and as well as the PhD programs. In Dehradun, we are running the diploma programs, and BTech persons or other persons can come for their dissertation work or the project work also if required the things. However, the program for industry and institute connect, this only I have to say, majorly if you want to say, you can visit the CPET website, and जो maximum चीज़ें कहने की हैं, my previous guest has already delivered the talk more in the detailed manner to you. वेस्ट हमको करना है, क्योंकि वेस्ट कलेक्शन का एक इशू है, उससे एनर्जी रिकवरी हमको करनी है, दैट इज़ अ चैलेंज एंड दैट हैज़ टू बी टेकन केयर। सिपेट भी उसका चैलेंज टेकन केयर कर रहा है। R&D सेंटर में हम लोग वेस्ट को रिसाइकिल करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि उसके अंदर मेटल्स या बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं। जो ग्रीन कलर का PCB है वो तो ABS मटेरियल है, उसको रिसाइकिल कर सकते हैं, बट जो मेटल है उस मेटल का एक्सट्रक्शन, एंड दैट इज़ द सम टिपिकल मेटल्स, क्योंकि उसमें कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्वमेंट ज़्यादा है, तो सम ऑलरेडी वी आर डूइंग। एज वेल एज द बोइंग के साथ हमारा कोलैबोरेशन कुछ है, जिसमें उसकी कोटिंग्स के लिए, प्लेन के लिए वी आर आल्सो डूइंग। तो शब्दों को मैं यही विराम देना चाहूँगा ज़्यादा, और बस ऑलवेज कीप अ प्लास्टिक स्माइल। थैंक यू ऑल।
Thank you, sir, for your words. Adam said, learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought for with ardor and attended to with diligence. Every year, so many students come from reputed academic institutes like MT University, Banasthali University, Thapar University, IITs, various universities and colleges. They get training from CSIR-IIP. This training is much beneficial in their career. On the occasion of Institute Academia Connect, Professor Sunita Ratan, Director MT University, Institute of Applied Sciences, Uttar Pradesh, sent a recorded message to CSIR-IIP. I request to Sri Sajid ji to play the message of Professor Ratan.
A very good morning. I am Sunita Ratan, Director, MIT Institute of Applied Sciences. MIT University is the university which is research-driven university. It has been extensively exploring the possibility for research collaboration with various reputed research organizations. Our collaboration with the Institute of Petroleum, Dehradun, has been very fruitful. And the honors goes to Dr. Anjan Ray, Director, IIP Dehradun. Dr. Anjan Ray is spearheading the Institute's research, development, and deployment activities. It is, I think, because of his futuristic thinking that the state-of-the-art and high-end facilities at IIP are made available to the academic institutions and researchers, not only in Dehradun, but all throughout India. We are very fortunate enough to associate with premier institute like CSIR-IIP through Institute's Academia Connect program, which has immensely benefited students and faculty in their research pursuits. We are associated with IIP for long, and it's like IIP is providing us the research collaboration, the research support in all the areas, be it students or faculty or the scientists which are discussing on day-to-day basis for different innovations. IIP is very regularly providing internships to our MSc Applied Chemistry and MSc Chemistry students. They have to do their 6 months project in their, which is as part of their curricula, and IIP is extending all the help for our students, and they get exposed to their high-class labs. They have been able to publish the very good papers due to their collaboration with IIP. And I think it is IIP's infrastructure and the scientific discussions have really stimulated the interest that many of them who were never thinking to go for PhDs are now enrolling for their PhDs. The second area where IIP is helping us, that the scientists, the distinguished scientists over there are joining hands with us to co-supervise our PhD students, and they are the co-supervisors, and they are not only guiding the students but are also exploring our faculty members to the recent advances which are being made in the scientific arena. Our PhD students often go at IIP to do their characterizations. We are also working with some of the scientists to submit collaborative projects, and their discussions are on, and we hope that something will come out of these collaborations. And this all is because of the collaborative efforts of all the scientists. We are at Amity Institute of Applied Sciences. We are thankful to each one of them who have been, because wherever we've called them, whenever there is a discussion, it is online, offline, they all are ready to do that. So I would like to say that now we are keen to reap the ideas sown in collaboration with the distinguished scientists at AIB, and that will be, in true sense, a gratitude towards great scientists who have guided the faculty members and the students. And we really look forward for the sustainable outcomes to future innovations in different areas of sciences. Thank you, IIP. Thanks a lot.
Now, one more recorded message we received from Dr. Deep Jyoti Chakravarti, Professor, Head and Dean, Research and Development, Banasthali Vidyapeeth, Rajasthan. I request Sri Sajid ji to play the video.
Namaste. I am Professor Deep Jyoti Chakravarti. I am the head of the Department of Bioscience and Biotechnology, Banasthali Vidyapeeth. I am also the Dean, Research and Development of Banasthali Vidyapeeth. The years of association with Banasthali Vidyapeeth has also taken me to look into the affairs of the students when they go for internship and research in other institutions, as I have been associated with the placement and training of the students for a long time. There are a large number of institutions which take our students for training during their coursework. So in the master's courses, we have a full semester coursework to be done in Master of Science Biotechnology and also in Master of Science Applied Microbiology and Biotechnology. Whereas in the MTech courses, like the MTech Biotechnology course, our students need to take a training of 1 full year. The department also offers BTech in biotechnology, and here the students have to go for a 6 months dissertation work. So mostly these research projects, dissertation works, internships, which are a full semester, happen either in the final semester or the last but the final semester, and for the MTech students, it happens over the second year. So we have to regularly interact with a large number of institutes so that our students can be better placed and get better trained. And I am very happy to tell the audience today that Indian Institute of Petroleum, Dehradun, which is a CSIR institute, is one of the best institutes that we have found where we can send our students for training and placement. And over the years, we have seen that the institute facilitates the research and development of our student to the finest level possible, starting from the application process, which is very well set up at Indian Institute of Petroleum, where we suggest or we propose best of our students who are interested to go over there. Incidentally, Indian Institute of Petroleum allows 4 of our students to go and do research at their prestigious labs every year. So what the institute does, what Vidyapit does, is that we propose the name of those students along with their CVs and along with their details, and within a month or 2, we get a reply back from the Indian Institute of Petroleum that these students have been selected, they have been placed in different labs, and we can go on with the further process. All of this is facilitated by the Indian Institute of Petroleum and their personnel over there, who talks to our training officer, head of the department, and makes the process very easy for us. What is very interesting for us and our students is that when they go to the Indian Institute of Petroleum, most of them are welcomed very well. They get a place, they get to stay on the hostel itself. Some of them, of course, have to look for their own accommodation, but this is also very well arranged by the Indian Institute of Petroleum. Being a women's university, one of the major concerns of our department is the safety and security of the students, and I can tell you that over the last few years that I have been associated with the training and placement, there has never been a single problem with students going to the Indian Institute of Petroleum, and students feel very safe and very comfortable when they reach the institute and interact with the training officers over there. The Department of Biotechnology at the Indian Institute of Petroleum has also been facilitating the students a lot. When they go to the department, they are allocated research supervisors. Most of them are eminent scientists in their own field, and when our students work at these highly sophisticated laboratories, they get to know about the recent techniques regarding their coursework, regarding the recent research that is going on in biofuels and also in other associated areas. So we are very happy with the way that our students are welcomed at Indian Institute of Petroleum and how they do their work over the period of 6 months or sometimes even over a period of a year. And it has always been found that the students who do their dissertation at the Indian Institute of Petroleum, they come out with flying colors, their presentations are the best, they know a lot about the work that they have done over there, which tells about the pain and the time that the supervisors and also the senior researchers at the different departments, different laboratories at Indian Institute of Petroleum provide to our students so that they can come up to that level. Many of our students over the years have also published highly when they are doing their dissertation work at Indian Institute of Petroleum, and it is very rare that within 6 months a student comes out with a good publication, but that has happened a large number of times with our students who are being offered training during their master's courses at the Indian Institute of Petroleum. Some of our students have also continued to do their PhD research work at the institution, and they are also very happy to stay over there. Whenever we take feedback from the students who are doing dissertation at many places, all over the India. We have a good number of master students with us. We are very happy to say that their feedback of the Indian Institute of Petroleum regarding how they have been welcomed into the institute from the start, from day one, and how they have been nurtured in research and development at the Institute of Petroleum is one of the best all over India. So we are very delighted that there is a long association of Vanasthali Vidyapith with Indian Institute of Petroleum, and we would like this association to go on for a long time so that our students get the best opportunities to do their research and training work. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Mr. Sajid. Now, I would like to request Dr. N. Vishwanathan, Officiating Director, CSIR-IIP, to present a sapling and a memento to our Chief Guest, Dr. Sarat K. Pradhan, Director, THDC, IHET, Tehri, Government of Uttarakhand. Thank you, sir. Now I request to Vishwanathan sir to present a sapling and memento to our guest of honor, Dr. Mukesh Kumar Barua, IIT Roorkee. Now I again request to Dr. N. Vishwanathan to present a memento and sapling to our guest of honor, Sri Abhishek Rajvansh, Joint Director, CPET, Dehradun. Thank you, sir. CSIR-IIP is always open to help students in the field of science and engineering. We are always open to help also work with industry to help them for scientific needs. Now, I invite Sri Anjum Sharma, COA, CSIR-IIP for vote of thanks on behalf of CSIR-IIP.
Good morning, everyone. I am honored to have the opportunity to express my gratitude and appreciation to all who are going to contribute to the success of today's Institute Academic Connect program, organized as a part of the CSIR 1 Week, 1 Lab campaign. The aim of this event is to showcase the opportunities available here in the fields of chemistry, biology and engineering to young minds, and to contribute with various educational institutes to promote advancement in these domains. I would like to begin by thanking our Chief Guest, Dr. S. Pradhan, Director of THDC, IHET, for taking time out from his busy schedule to grace us with his presence. Thank you, sir. I would also like to express my gratitude to our esteemed guests of honor, Dr. Mukesh Kumar from IIT Roorkee and Dr. Abhishek Rajvansh, Joint Director of CPET, for their presence and inspiring thoughts. Thank you, sir. I want to place on record our sincere thanks to the Director, CSIR-IIP, for his gracious support in organizing this event. Thank you for your encouragement, sir. I would also like to thank all speakers, panel members, organizing committee members and volunteers for their great effort to make this event a success. Furthermore, I would also express my thanks to the various HODs, scientists, technical and support staff, volunteers, and more importantly, students and researchers for your participants for your valuable contribution, guidance, and support. Your efforts will be invaluable to the success of this event. Once again, I would like to thank everyone present here for making this event a memorable success. Thank you, everyone.
धन्यवाद सर। इसी के साथ ही इस सेशन को यहीं विराम कर देते हुए नेक्स्ट सेशन 15 मिनट बाद 12:15 पर इसी सभागार में प्रारंभ होगा। मेरा डॉक्टर उमेश इवेंट कोऑर्डिनेटर से अनुरोध है कि वो गणमान्य अतिथि को जलपान के लिए एनेक्सी के लिए मार्गदर्शन करें। वह सभी आए हुए अध्यापकगण भी कृपया एनेक्सी में चाय के लिए आमंत्रित हैं। वह सभी छात्र छात्राओं से अनुरोध है कि कृपया वो अपनी सीट पर ही रहें। उन्हें सीट पर ही स्नैक्स पैक दिया जाएगा। इसके पश्चात चाय के लिए कैंटीन हॉल में आमंत्रित हैं। इसके अलावा मेरा सभी अध्यापकगण एवं फैकल्टी मेंबर से अनुरोध है कि जिन्होंने अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं कराया है वो रजिस्ट्रेशन डेस्क पर कृपया अपना रजिस्ट्रेशन अवश्य करा लें, क्योंकि उन्हें इवेंट के बाद में सर्टिफिकेट दिया जाएगा। आप सभी चाय पर सादर आमंत्रित हैं। 12:15 बजे सभी लोग इसी सभागार में कृपया उपस्थित हो। नेक्स्ट सेशन इसी सभागार में होगा। धन्यवाद। सभी स्टाफ मेंबर्स के लिए भी कैंटीन में चाय है। आप सभी लोग चाय के लिए आमंत्रित हैं। धन्यवाद।
When we say ACSIR, you already know that currently ACSIR is the
A variety of petrochemicals drive our daily life and development of nation. The elite group comprising plastics and host of other chemicals are downstream hydrocarbons derived from crude oil and natural gas. The value additions in petrochemicals serve various vital sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, infrastructure, etc. Currently, with a market size of 35 million metric ton, the Indian petrochemical industry stands tall among global competitors. But earlier, petrochemicals industries depended heavily on imported technologies and products for operations and services. This was a major constraint and barrier for its growth and development.
India needs energy for self-sufficiency, energy to grow, energy to develop its economy. We import 80% of our energy needs through crude oil, and when we produce fuels from crude oil, we also produce petrochemicals that go into a host of applications from food, clothing, shelter, building materials, day-to-day use items, plastics and so on. The CSIR laboratories are working together relentlessly to make India self-sufficient in energy for our growth and economic aspirations, and in petrochemicals for value creation for our citizens.
CSIR laboratories transformed the petrochemical sector by developing and commercializing many path-breaking technologies. Several innovative processes were developed that are important for pushing up the petrochemical industry to new heights.
CSIR-IIP is working in the downstream sector of hydrocarbon industry. So we are mainly working on development of fuels and lubricants, chemicals and petrochemicals, biomass to fuels, and also on the CO2 capture and utilization, and new areas like bio lubricants and energy. We have developed several technologies in the past and they have been commercialized. If I talk about Reliance, the technology is one of its kind in the world. We are doing simultaneously producing the low benzene US quality gasoline and recovering that benzene in the pure form. So this kind of technology is not available presently anywhere. Reliance has put this plant at a cost of around 500 crore rupees, and it is greatly benefited by this technology.
To address environment concerns, CSIR-IIP developed a unique technology for simultaneous production of US-grade gasoline and high-purity benzene. The process, first of its kind in the world, yields gasoline with low benzene and sulfur, and simultaneously high pure benzene is also recovered. Recently, based on this process, Reliance Industries Limited commissioned a petrochemical plant at Jamnagar, which has a payback period of not more than 2.5 years. The technology has been granted a US patent and one Indian patent has been filed. The plant is under smooth operation with maximum throughput and attractive returns from export and sale of gasoline and benzene.
भारतीय पेट्रोलियम संस्थान देहरादून ने मोम बनाने की एक टेक्नोलॉजी विकसित की है। ये टेक्नोलॉजी पूरी तरह इंडिजीनियस टेक्नोलॉजी है और ये टेक्नोलॉजी नुमालीगढ़ रिफाइनरी को स्थानांतरित की गई है। नुमालीगढ़ रिफाइनरी जो आसाम में स्थित है, उसने इस टेक्नोलॉजी के आधार पर वहाँ एक प्लांट, वैक्स का प्लांट लगाया है, उसमें प्रोडक्शन स्टार्ट हो गया है।
A novel technology to produce paraffin wax and microcrystalline wax from petroleum streams was developed to curb heavy import of waxes for industrial uses. The low-cost technology is energy efficient with many unique features such as use of single solvent and lower solvent to feed ratio. Numaligarh Refinery Limited commissioned a wax plant based on this technology, which was dedicated to nation by Prime Minister on 5th February 2016. Production of waxes by the plant has increased profitability of refinery by 77 crores per annum, slashed import of waxes by 50%, saved foreign exchange worth rupees 300 crore per annum, and captured 52% of the Indian market share for paraffin wax. Although a new player in the market, NRL is supplying waxes to more than 60 clients in India and has also started exports to Kenya, Bangladesh, Nepal, Thailand, etc.
We have developed many technologies. First of the technology was benzene, toluene, xylene extraction. This was commercialized in BPCL Mumbai. Later on, we have developed many technologies. Second one was food grade.
सभी लोगों से अनुरोध है कि कृपया वो अपनी सीट पर बैठ जाएं। स्टूडेंट से रिक्वेस्ट है कि कृपया वो अपनी सीट पर बैठ जाएं। Welcome all once again. Now we are here for the next session. In this session, we have one special talk, 3 lectures and 1 panel discussion. We received Message of Professor M. K. Dhar, ACSI Director. He will tell about role of ACSI in IIP's R&D. I request Mr. Sajid to play the recorded message of Professor M. K. Dhar, ACSIR Director.
When we say ACSIR, you already know that currently ACSIR is the largest institution in the country. We have the highest number of PhD degree enrolled students. More than 6,000 students are enrolled. And the number has been consistently rising in the last 5 years. And if you see the distribution of research scholars so far as ACSIR is concerned, in biological sciences we have about 38% scholars, and in chemical sciences about 40%. I would say very less in mathematical and information sciences, about just 1%, and engineering sciences 13%, and physical sciences 8%. So in terms of concern, I think the mathematical and information sciences is a matter of concern. We need to have more number of scholars in this subject or faculty. Then currently ACSIR also awards the highest number of PhD degrees. Last year 2022 we have awarded 577 students with the PhD degrees, and in terms of publications they are also consistently increasing. You will be happy to know that at the moment, in the last year, about 3,000 publications have come out from the ACSIR students and faculty. And in terms of rankings, we are second in India so far as Mago institutional rankings are concerned. We are 12th in Nature Index and 18th in NIRF, and we are hopeful that these rankings will improve over time. And how can they improve? They can improve only with your efforts. And we have a very strong number or a group of alumni, about 4,000 alumni who have passed out of ACSIR with PhD degrees and other degrees. And there are some recent initiatives which we are taking in order to see that there is further improvement so far as the quality of research is concerned, and also taking care of the placements of the students in future. We need to introduce a science club in every institution. Then we are also going to publish a quarterly magazine, and also we may fund some of the societal program projects which we are just working out as to how we will be able to support such societal projects. The idea is that our research should not remain restricted only to the laboratories, but it should actually go to the society. We should be able to give back to the society in whatever field, in whatever capacity we are. So for doing that connect with the society, we are introducing some societal program projects. We have, as you may be aware, joint PhD program with RMIT University Australia and University of Western Australia, and this is our flagship program, and we are in the process of signing off MOUs with other institutions located outside India and within India as well, in order to provide that platform to facilities to the students who will be excelling in their research. Now, as I have already presented the data, it seems that the ACSIR is doing very well, but we need to move forward. We cannot be complacent with what we already have. We are also planning to restructure the PhD program by introducing the MOOCs and course content. We need to re-engineer. We'll do complete I would say overhauling of this coursework. We will have courses on pedagogy, inclusion of outside experts in DACs, skill training for research, and inclusion of industry experts in the DACs, so that right from the beginning there is an industry connect of the students. Then we will also promote outcome-based research in terms of innovations, in terms of societal benefits, patents, and also strengthening the research communication and writing skills of the students and scholars. For that, specific programs will be conducted, and these are being planned planned at the moment. So I would say that the future is very bright, and we have lot of opportunities for the students and scholars to move forward in life. But definitely we need to keep in mind that this education, whatever we are providing, there has to be a very strong component of ethics and human and constitutional values, appreciation of human and constitutional values, so that there is empathy, cleanliness, courtesy, democratic spirit, liberty, pluralism, and zero tolerance for plagiarism. And I would say that it's good time that research scholars should get benefited from the MOUs which ACSIR is signing with various institutions throughout the world. And few more things which will come up is the completely refurbished website of ACSIR, wherein we will have corners for the students, interaction with the alumni, then placement data, online lectures, and also information about various fellowships. We are starting with the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam lecture series, which will be one lecture per month, and for that all the modalities are being worked out. And as you know that India holds the presidency of G20, and under G20 Y20 program is also something which is of interest, and wherein the students can actively participate in these programs. And also I will like to mention about S20, that is the Science 2023 India, wherein whatever intellectual heritage our country has and the current progress in science and engineering, combined with a tradition of innovation with sustainability, India now has an opportunity to become a leader in the disruptive science for development. So I wish and hope that all of you will participate in these programs and contribute towards the further development of this great nation. Let's all join hands and move from fact finding to solution building. Thank you so much. I wish all the best for the success of this program. Many congratulations to the organizers of this program, and I am sure that I'll be able to meet you all personally in the times to come. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Sajid. Now I invite Dr. Rajkumar Singh for his lecture. His lecture is related to chemistry, chemical engineering skill and training. Dr. Rajkumar Singh is a principal scientist and head of Advanced Crude Oil Research Center of Analytical Science Division in CSIR Indian Institute of Petroleum, Dehradun. He did PhD from IIT Roorkee. He has also previous experience in the Synthesis and Fuel Research Division in IOCL Center, Faridabad, Haryana, and as an executive at the Product Development Division of Lupin Limited, and as assistant professor at the National Institute of Technology, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. He joined Indian Institute of Petroleum, Dehradun in 2009, and now he is working as principal scientist in Analytical Sciences Division. He has received Young Scientist Award in 2005 at IIT New Delhi. He has life membership of Indian Peptide Society and Indian Carbon Society. He is executive member of Indian Society of Analytical Scientists Delhi chapter. He has published 73 international research papers along with 50 international and other papers. He has guided 4 PhD students and 3 PhD students are going on. His research interests are in green chemistry, eco-friendly lubricant, the new generation eco-friendly bioadditive, and the polymer synthesis, crude oil, heavy oils, biofuel, desulfurization, and green technologies for hydrocarbon industry. Now I invite Dr. Rajkumar Singh.
the research opportunities in IIP, especially for the chemistry and chemical engineers. As already has been introduced, this institution was established in 1960, and we actually cater the technological requirement of the upstreams and also the midstream and downstreams. Along with that, we have extended our scope for the future fuels and sustainable fuels, waste utilizations, and we are also assisting BIS for the formulating of the standards and also the regulatory agencies for planning and policy making. As far as the human resource development is concerned, we have been a premier training center for the hydrocarbon sector nationally and also internationally. And also we have all the PSUs and the government agencies and ministries as our client, and we have offering various training modules for the hydrocarbon industries, and we have core expertise is there in the conventional petroleum refining. Along with that, various interesting programs related to analytical chemistry we are also introducing, and also the automotive technologies we are offering the training modules. As far as the flagship program, that is Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, is concerned, we have introduced almost 10 Skill India training programs also, and they are actually open for the graduate and undergraduate students of the chemistry, chemical engineers, and also for the biotechnology, etc. As far as the academic activities is concerned, we are identified as the academic center of the ACCR. We work in a spoke and hub model actually. The administrative control is there in the ACSIR headquarters, that is there in the Ghaziabad, and we all the research laboratories, 38 research laboratories are the academic center of the ACSIR. We are offering PhD in the 4 streams actually: chemistry, chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, and the biotechnology. As far as the research highlights are concerned, we have various activities, almost 100 types of activities, research activities and research problems we are taking care of in our institute related to the alternate fuels, carbon dioxide dissipation, and also the value additive refinery streams, biomass conversions, conventional refinery processes, separation process, material science, chemistry, biotechnology. So I have identified some of the research areas which might be interested for the chemistry and chemical engineering students. First problem is the carbon dioxide utilization for producing fuels and the chemicals. You know that India is the 3rd largest carbon emitters, and after the China and America. And the carbon dioxide is a big problem. You know that the concentration is reaching 412 ppm, and almost 2,555 million tons of carbon dioxide is emitted into the atmosphere by India. So as per the pledge that has been taken by Prime Minister in the Glasgow COP26, we have to reduce our carbon emissions by 1 billion metric ton by 2030, and we have to be carbon neutral by 2017. So in line with this mandate of the government, we are working extensively for utilizing the carbon dioxide for carbon capture and carbon utilization. One of the most important activities that we could convert this carbon dioxide into the chemicals that can work as a carbon sink also. So we have initiated some of the research activities related to the photocatalysis. In photocatalysis, we used to have the semiconductor materials, and it will be sensitized by the photosensitizer, and so that it could absorb the light radiations and could convert the carbon dioxide feed into the valuable chemicals. If you see the thermochemical conversion, thermoelectrochemical conversion, you can see that by 2 electron reduction, you can convert the carbon dioxide into the formic acid. It is called as the formate conversions, and then you can make the syngas also by 2 electron process, and if you can extensively reduce it by 4 electron, you can produce the aldehydes, and also you can form the higher hydrocarbons. Even the methanol could be directly converted from the carbon dioxide through photocatalytic route. One of the interesting work I want to highlight, we have converted this methanol into the acetic acid, simple by using atmospheric carbon dioxide pressure and at the room temperature only. A organic photocatalyst we have developed by this octasulfur and the cobalt phthalocyanine molecules. You can see the conversion is very good,
and no sacrificial electron or proton donor is required. As far as the benchmarking, commercial benchmarking is concerned, in the industry we are using actually toxic and hazardous carbon monoxide, that is syngas, for producing the acetic acid out of this methanol. So this is a very good process, very environmentally benign carbon dioxide capture utilization process. Along with that, we have a very good catalytic research facilities. In nanocatalysis, we are developing many nanocatalysts actually, and you know that nanocatalysts have the advantage of easy recovery or easy separation, as we have the heterogeneous catalysis. Also, they enjoy the liberty of the high activity due to the nanoparticle size and due to the high surface area. Their activity is comparable with the homogeneous catalysis. So various type of metal oxide, sulfides and zeolite materials based nanocatalyst we are preparing, and we are using it for producing the chemicals and other future fuels, actually renewable fuels we used to call it. And by this natural gas conversion, we can actually, what we can do catalyze the C1 chemistry, and if we can produce this, we can use the natural gas for conversion of syngas, followed by you can convert it into the methanol, and also you can form the DME, dimethyl oxide, by the dehydration of this methanol. So by doing the dye reforming and the wet reforming, you can produce this, you can use the carbon dioxide for making the future fuels actually. The methanol is considered to be as a future fuel also, and DME also considered to be a substitute for the diesel. So that type of activity actually we are taking care of. As far as the activity related to the biomass conversion into the various chemical feedstock or chemical commodities we are deriving from the biomass. So various type of catalysis that are selected to particular chemical commodities we have synthesized, and extensive work has been done. You know that the biomass has the cellulose and hemicellulose and the lignin part. Lignin is aromatic rich, so lots of aromatics could be derived from the biomass. So we have the patented catalyst for converting this biomass into the value-added chemicals. Apart from that, we are also utilizing the production of the carbon nanomaterials like carbon nanorods and carbon nanogranules out of the waste streams of the our petroleum. So these asphaltenes are polyaromatics and resins are the polyaromatics, actually waste material, very egregious refractory materials. They don't have any use into the petroleum refining. So we are using these waste carbon resources for producing the valuable products out of it. Along with that, conventional catalytic processes, almost all the catalytic processes we are working on, and one of the good technologies we have for the desulfurization of the LPG. So we have developed a cobalt phthalocyanine tetrasulfonamide type of Mirox catalyst. It is a very good process to desulfurize the LPG actually. It is particularly effective for the desulfurization of the thiols and mercaptans. It converts it into the disulfides, and disulfide layer is separated. You just have to agitate your petroleum stream with the aqueous alkali solution having the Mirox catalyst. So this technology actually was licensed to the Lona Chemicals, who is producing this catalyst on the commercial scale, and it is giving to the various refineries. And it is a technology that is also taken by the Reliance Industries, and also the foreign licensors also are like Soha refineries, Oman, and also the Saudi Aramco was interested in this technology. Along with that, we are extensively working on the problems that we are actually facing in the heavy crude oils, especially the waxy crude oil and high asphaltene crudes. So the high asphaltene and high waxy crude oil actually create the problem in crude transportation. They actually deposited, and lots of repeated pigging you have to do. To avoid this repeated pigging and the economical consequences, you can have some additives like wax inhibitors, and we used to call it the flow improvers. So we have developed some polymeric flow improvers. If you can add, we have developed one wax inhibitors. You add it in 1000 ppm concentration. In 7 hours test of this cold finger test, we have seen that the wax deposition has reduced almost 37 to 41%. Along with that, we have some reactive additive methods for desulfurization. Especially it was actually developed for desulfurization of the crude oils as such. From as such crude oil, you can treat this with our method, and we can desulfurize it. And you can see that ranging from the heavier crude oil to the lighter crude oils, the sulfur removal is very good. Even it is actually very effective for the streams which have the refractory heterocyclic sulfur, like we have VGOs and LGOs. Almost 85 or 90% removal is found for the sulfur species. Along with that, we have a dedicated laboratory for the process like extractive oxidative desulfurization. In this, we use the hydrogen peroxide or any oxidizing agent to actually oxidize the refractory thiophene type of derivatives like benzene thiophene or dimethyl dibenzothiophenone type. So you can oxidize this dibenzothiophenes and to make the sulfone and sulfoxide. They will enter the polarity into these molecules, and if you can extract it with some polar solvent, you can remove it. So also we have developed many catalysts for this oxidation of this refractory benzene or sulfur species. We are very active into the lubricants, as Chief Guest Pradhan Sahab Azal said, that if we could reduce the energy losses due to the high friction and wear, we can save the energy. We can also reduce the carbon import bill also, and it is very good for the carbon neutrality. So we are very active in developing the lubricant formulation. There are two actually major constituent is the base oils and various type of additives we used to add. Along with that, multifunction additives like zinc dialkyd dithiphosphate, but it is having the zinc, sulfur and phosphorus. As far as the environmentally sustainable, high performing alternate of this conventional lubricant is concerned, we are producing various type of biolubricant. In biolubricant, you have to do the reaction of this triglyceride with the higher alcohols to make that trans-esterified higher alcohol esters. That can work as a biolubricant. So on the basis of this base oil chemistry, we have developed various products, environment friendly gear oil, greases, neat cutting oils, all the formulation we has made. So we have in our showcase for commercializing this technology. Environmentally benign multifunction additive development is very important exercise. Even the new generation we used to call it, it should be devoid of any toxic element. It should be high performing, and if it have the performance at par with the commercial additive, that will be a good. So we have developed the three strategies we have actually used. Either we can derivatize these biomaterials to have these multifunctional sustainable additives, or we can use the two-dimensional nanostructured materials also, and also we can use these polymers. So in the polymeric additives, we have introduced the multifunctionality into the polyacrylate or polyolefinic type of network, means structures, and we have well realized their activity as the additives. And also some biomaterials like cellulose, chitosan, and also some proteins also, and the oleochemicals derived fatty acids also used to make the additives, and we have used them as a additive in the lubricant formulation. These are the very good 2D structured nanomaterials like graphene and hexaboron nitride, and also the metal chalcogenide, especially the metal sulfide like tungsten sulfide and molybdenum sulfide. The problem of using this two-dimensional structure is that their dispersibility into the lubricating base oil is very low. So we have derivatized this graphene and the materials to increase the long-term dispersibility into the base oils. So we have derivatized and we have used, and you can see that the friction coefficient is greatly reduced by adding this additive, and the concentration is very low, 0.04 milligram per ml. So that type of the high performing additives we have also synthesized. Along with that, we are equally active for producing sustainable biofuels actually. Why we are going for the biofuels actually? It is the mandate of the CORSIA. That is the International Civil Aviation Organization has introduced a program that is known as CORSIA, that says that we have to offset the carbon emissions into the aviation industry also. All the countries has to go to the sustainable biofuels. So we have produced this hydrogenated ester fatty acid that we have termed it as a biojet fuel, and it is also a trade name we have given, that drop-in liquid sustainable aviation fuels. So we can derivatize from the tree-borne oil actually. Tree-borne oil is nothing but the triglycerides. they have the glycerol part and also the linear fatty part. So if you could deoxygenate and could derive these linear hydrocarbons, and if you could do the selective cracking and also the reforming, subsequent reforming, if you can do, you can make the C9 to C15 molecules, which will be highly isoparaffinic. So this type of molecule we have derivatized from the tree-borne oil. And international solutions, they have the two-step process, but we have done this reaction in the single steps. The deoxygenation, selective cracking and isomerization is doing by the single catalyst in single phase actually. So the test flight, as already been told, that we have done the test flight, SpiceJet test flight in August 2018, and the test flight happened between Dehradun and Delhi, and it was flagged out by the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, and it was welcomed by 5 cabinet ministers there. And also then Indian Air Force came to us along with the DRDOs and Indian Air Force. IIP jointly worked on this, and then a test flight was also happened with the Indian Air Force aircraft, and the aircraft are used the Antonov 32, while in SpiceJet we have used Bombardier Q400. So in the civil aviation test flight, we have used the 25% blend of the biojet with the conventional jet A1. In the Air Force, we have used the 10% blend of this biojet into the jet A1. So this type of sustainable fuels, biojet fuel, we have developed. Although we are active for developing this biodiesel technology, biodiesel could be produced by taking a triglyceride, vegetable tree-borne oil, and you could just add the methanol and also the basic or acid catalyst, and you just agitate it at a 60 degree centigrade temperature, you could produce the diesel. What new we have done, actually we have developed a reagent or solvent. You just add our solvent into the vegetable oil, you just agitate at room temperature, the two layer will be separated, one layer will be the biodiesel. You can take out this biodiesel layer and can use as a ready drop-in fuels. The TRP of this technology is that it can withstand with the higher free fatty acid. Actually, the conventional technologies with the higher free fatty acids, they will produce the soap, and there will be a problem processing of the biodiesel. But this solvent can take care of the higher concentration of free fatty acid. So we have tried various feed, starting from the jet of oil and pongami and other feedstock also. We have used the UCO, used cooking oil. Actually, it was initiative of FSSAI. They have introduced a program that is known as RUCO, repurposed used cooking oil, where we do not have to do the repeated frying, although we have to derivatize this repeated frying oil into the production of the biofuels. So it has increased the energy basket by giving the opportunities to actually collect the refrying oil and produce the biodiesel. Actually, there is a huge demand of the biodiesel. Actually, government has given the target by 2030, we have to actually blend 5% of the biodiesel into the diesel. So almost 100 million metric ton of requirement is there for the diesel. So we need 5 million metric ton of the biodiesel. So our pan-India capacity of the tree-borne oil is only 1 million metric ton. So we need huge amount of the feed to make the biodiesel. So this vegetable oil, used vegetable oils could have a good solution for that. 27 million metric ton of the vegetable oils we are using for edible purposes, and if we could able to derive 10% of that, it will add 2.7 million metric ton into the 1 million metric ton pan-India capacity of the vegetable oil. So total 3.7 million metric ton of the feed we can be derivatized to make the sustainable fuels. So you can see that we have the 50 liter batch unit also and it has commercialized into the CBDA. There in the Chhattisgarh, they are producing almost 200 liters. 4 batches they can process in a day by this 50 liter per batch unit. So they are producing this biodiesel out of these techniques, and also we have the 5 liter batch. We have the ambitious plan to actually manipulate this technology into the Char Dham Yatra also. And there is a vision also. If we could be able to establish this 200 liter per day biodiesel plants in 50,000 villages, we could produce a biodiesel with which can match the capacity of the diesel refinery unit of a particular refinery. So this type of advantages we have. We are also addressing some of the societal problems that is created by this waste plastics actually. according to the CPCB data, 15,000 tons per day waste plastic we are actually producing in India. So that is a big problem. So we have come up with the solution. We have developed this the technology. Either you can convert through the pyrolysis and the selective polymerization reactions, you can convert this plastic into the diesel. You can make as high as 850 ml of the diesel out of the 1 kg of the plastic, or you can make 650 ml of the gasoline out of 1 kg. And also if you want to produce solvent, you can do that. So this technology is also a good substitute. It is providing for the conventional mineral oil derived, fossil fuel derived fuels actually. And the advantage of this derivatizing this, depolymerizing and disintegrating this waste plastic into the fuel is that it doesn't have any sulfur. So it is clean, and you can match the BS6 specification for this product. And the plant has been actually 1 ton per day processing plant also. This is the demo plant actually. It has been established in IIP campus, and it was also inaugurated in August 2019 by the Minister of Science and Technology, and also the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand was also there. So along with that, we are also working for some problems like production of the paraffin waxes and microcrystalline waxes actually. There is a huge deficit between the demand and the supply. You can see that almost 166,000 million ton per annum requirement is there for the paraffin waxes, but the supply was only 64,000 metric ton per annum. So there was a huge deficit. Similarly, in the microcrystalline waxes area also, there was a huge deficit. So we have come up with the solvent extraction technology that is based on the methyl isobutyne ketone extraction process. Earlier, the refineries, the Numaligarh refinery actually processing the vacuum gas oil in the hydrocrackers only, but it was not an efficient process. We have suggested that you use this solvent extraction for making the paraffin waxes. So this technology has various TRPs actually, low solvent to feed ratio also, and high filtration rate was achieved. And we have controlled the crystallization products, and also the larger wax crystal was produced with the narrow crystal size distribution. So these are the advantages, and this was actually dedicated to the nation by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji in 2016. Along with that, we are very active in all the secondary refinery processes. Like we have the very sophisticated pilot plants in our institute, and we are doing research using this pilot scale like delayed coking, visc braking, FCC unit, hydrocracking unit, catalytic reformers. All the pilot scale facilities we have in our IEP, and these are open for the research. Some innovations we are doing in the conventional refinery process. The latest one is that we have produced these visc braking. Advanced soaker technology has been developed. Earlier, what we are doing actually, we are using the soaker drums for actually doing the visc braking of these vacuum residues. What we have done, we have introduced the soaker internals into the soaker drum, and by that there is a reduced deposition of carbon, so that the enhanced run length is increased actually, and the back mixings also it was reduced. So this was efficient for producing the actually cutter stocks, and also the visc braking tar which we are producing for the mixing and to make the fuel oil actually. So we have improved the fuel oil stability also, and better temperature profile with increased run length and more distillate yield actually we are getting. So this type of innovations we also is carried out in our institute. So that is a brief about the research activities for the chemist and for the chemical engineers. Thank you. Please visit our eco campus.
Thank you, Dr. Singh, for your nice presentation, which shows the various research area in chemistry and chemical engineering in CSIR-IIP. Students will get benefit from it. Definitely, your presentation will help them to find out the research possibility in chemistry in CSIR-IIP. Now, I invite Dr. Srinivas Padala, Principal Scientist, for his lecture, which is related to mechanical and material engineering. Dr. Srinivas Padala is principal scientist working at CSIR, Indian Institute of Petroleum, Dehradun. From last 6 years, he obtained his bachelor's, master's and PhD all in mechanical engineering. He had a total 15 years of experience in engine research and development. His expertise spans across engine combustion, fuel chemistry, engine homologation, combustion, diagnostic and plasma ignition. I invite Dr. Padala.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti, for the introduction. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti, for the introduction, and good afternoon to the respected guest, faculty and students of the invited institute, as well as my fellow IIPians. Good afternoon all. So following the Dr. Rajkumar presentation, I am talking on research opportunities in mechanical and materials engineering. So I will be covering two divisions of this institute which are offering the mechanical sciences degrees, automotive fuels and lubricants application division, which I belong, and also the second area is Advanced Tribology Research Center of Tribology and Combustion Division. So before starting, I would like to know how many of you are either mechanical, materials or automobile engineers. Is there anyone? Just raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 students are there. So coming to overview, as I said, I belong to automotive fuels and lubricants application division. The problem which we are working is on the fossil fuels. Being science and engineering graduates, majority of you might know what are the problems with the fossil fuels. Basically, the fossil fuels are very carbon intensive fuels, and we run these fossil fuels in conventional internal combustion engines, which are powering the majority of the automotives on road today, end up as a carbon dioxide. So whatever is the carbon in the fuel finally comes as a CO2 into the atmosphere. This CO2 is a greenhouse gas and it has a strong correlation with the global warming. The other problem with this burning these fossil fuels in automotive engines are the toxic emissions. So when we burn these fuels, it also emits some unwanted exhaust gas emissions such as unburned hydrocarbons, particulate matter, oxides of nitrogen and carbon monoxide, which are proven to the detrimental to the health. So with this background, now I will introduce you to the research areas which our division is working. The first area is the application of the bio and renewable areas, renewable fuels. So as I said earlier, the fossil fuels has a problem with the CO2. So all these renewable fuels basically comes under the sustainable fuels category, which are like a carbon neutral. So previously we worked on ethanol and methanol, both are alcohols and bio-derived, as well as the gaseous fuel CNG as an alternative to petrol engines. As an alternative to the diesel, we are working on the green diesel and biodiesel and dimethyl ether. This green diesel and biodiesel, as Rajkumar ji showed earlier, these are produced by our fellow divisions, biofuel division groups. So basically what we do is, we study the in-cylinder phenomena of these fuels. For example, if you are injecting the green diesel, which are significantly different from the regular commercial diesel, what exactly is happening in the engine? How these fuel properties interacts with the emissions or the engine performance, we study using the in-cylinder combustion diagnostics. The second area which we are working is the alternative powertrains. Here we are developing a dual fueling kit for the diesel generator sets. As the name indicates, dual fueling, the engine is basically fueled by two fuels. So by this technology, we are partially replacing the diesel with any of the green fuels such as methanol or green methanol or green naphtha or gaseous fuel CNG. By doing so, we can reduce the carbon footprint of the fossil fuel. At the same time, we can also address the problematic particulate matter emissions of the DG engines. In the same area, other technology which we are working is the electrical vehicle technologies, which I will talk about in the later slide. Third device is the exhaust after treatment. As I said earlier, the engine out emissions are the toxic to the health. So right now, all the industry or automotive companies are taking the help of the catalyst to convert this toxic emission to the non-toxic emissions. For example, the carbon monoxide will be, which is a toxic to the health, will be converted to the carbon dioxide. Similarly, unburnt hydrocarbons will be converted to the H2O and CO, and particulate matters will be captured. All these catalysts right now is based on the noble metal based catalyst, which are expensive, and also we need to import them. So our group is working on developing the non-noble metal based catalyst, and also we are working on final application or integrating of this catalyst with the diesel generator sets, which you may see it here. Coming to our capabilities, led. So to do the above mentioned research activities, we have the capabilities such as engine dynamometers ranging from 30 kilowatt to up to 440 kilowatt at. Basically what we using these facilities, we do many of the fuel screening studies both for IIP as well as the outside industry, and also we conduct the dual fueling and also the certification of the DG sets. So as an institute, we are one of the authorized testing agencies for central motor vehicle rules as well as the Central Pollution Control Board. So we issue type approval as well as conformity of production certificates. That means whether that engine meets the emission targets or not. So to meet that one, we use these facilities. To give you a glimpse of the research which we conducted out of these dynamometers, on the right side, which you may see, we investigated the biodiesel fuel, and we established the deposit forming tendency of the biodiesel when we are using the in automotive engine for extended period of time. So if you are using the neat biodiesel for extended period of time, it eventually clogs the injector, which you may see it here, which is not very clear. This is the clean injector, where the biodiesel injector you can see it's almost clogged, which will eventually affect your engine drivability. The other lab which we have, the chassis dynamometer lab, in which we evaluate the vehicles as well as fuels from two-wheelers, three-wheelers, passengers cars up to light commercial vehicles. Any vehicle up to the gross vehicle weight of 3.5 tons. We use this facility to analyze the greenhouse gas impact of the fuels as well as the drive cycle analysis of the electric vehicles. To give a glimpse of the recent study, the data from this facility helped us to find out the impact of the ethanol blending. I think some of you might know already E10 is available in the petrol stations outside. In future, Government of India is targeting to reach the E20. So when we are going from E0 to E10 or E10 to E20, what would be the impact on the CO2? How much of the CO2 we can save compared to the conventional gasoline? As we found it out, and we recently submitted the report to the Government of India. Third capability is the on-road emission measurement. The first, the earlier two facilities are the laboratory-based emission measurement, in which we have a very controlled boundary conditions. But coming to the on-road profile, the on-road emissions are very complex to measure given the various change in boundary condition. Your emissions are function of the ambient temperature, ambient pressure, ambient humidity, driving behavior, how well the driver drives the car, and the traffic pattern. So these laboratory-based emissions are completely different from the on-road emissions. And the future, right now we are Bharat stage 6 stage emissions, and in future we are going to get the RDE emissions in stage 2. So in that case, we need all the vehicles need to comply with these on-road emissions also. So we can capable to measure those emissions on. For example, in the right side, you might see here the emission profile overlaid onto the Google Maps. Basically, you can see when you are driving a vehicle on the road, what exactly the emission profile, how much emission it is generating on the road. The second area is the electrical vehicle technologies. Our team is developing a hybrid controller which we call BiWish. That means biodiesel, wind and solar hybrid controller. The one which is highlighted in the red color box here. The functionality of this controller is continuously monitor the source side energy sources. Here solar energy or biogas generator or wind gas generator, and it continuously feed the energy to the demand side systems. Either it could be household or it could be electrical vehicle charging station. So the objective of this controller is basically to maximize the renewable component of the energy. For example, in the nights when there is no solar component is available, it simply shift to the wind energy if it is available. And even if the wind is not available, it can shift the biogas based biogas based generator sets. By this way, it can basically maximizes the renewable component and as I said, it can feed to either your household or electrical vehicle charging station, and if excess energy is available, it can simply feed to the any kind of energy storage devices such as batteries. The prototype of this system is already demonstrated, and the scientist, we made a prototype station of the electric charging station, which you can see it here. This is IIP's EV charging station. The same team is also working on the supercapacitor management system for electric vehicle application. We are collaborating with another CSIR laboratory in which they are making this supercapacitor, and we are trying to use this supercapacitor into the electric vehicle along with the other energy storage systems such as lithium-ion batteries. So this slide may be of interest to whoever is a mechanical and automobile or even electrical students. So Dr. Umesh ji asked me make it exciting for the students so that everyone get engaged. So I come up with this slide. Generally, we every year we get a project trainees for 6 months duration. People will come here, they will get exposed to the works they are working here, and after that either they go for a future studies or industry. So if you come as a project trainees, what kind of the projects which we can offer, this slide explains. For example, development of a controller for spark plug of the engine. Sorry. I think everyone knows that spark plug. That is which you majorly find in any of the petrol engine, either it could be two-wheeler or it could be four-wheeler passenger cars. The purpose of the spark plug is to ignite the mixture, air and fuel mixture, and after that it will create the flame front. The one which you see is the high-speed movie of a, the one which you will see the high-speed movie of a flame front. Here the spark plug which is igniting the mixture and the flame front is propagating. So we took it in the black and white movie so that we can get it at the high frame speed. This is 20,000 frame per second speed. So this one, if you want to study this one, how fast the flame is moving. So in spark ignition engine, we want to move the flame at the maximum speed, and also we want the ignition energy to be the minimum. The ignition energy will be given by the spark plug. So we need to develop a controller. Right now we are doing it at a very cumbersome way. If you can develop a microcontroller which can exactly give the spark timing or spark energy, we can basically study the flame propagation studies. So in this project, the PA the skills that PA can learn is Arduino or microcontroller programming. The second project which we are proposing is the redesign of the combustion chamber for the spray studies. Earlier one is basically the gasoline or petrol engine. If you are the diesel engine, it's a slightly different. Instead of you using the spark, you use the spray, diesel spray. So we really want to study the diesel spray inside the engine. But the problem is the geometry of the engine is so complex, and also it is completely covered with the metal parts. I really do not want to see what is happening. Really, I could not see what is happening in the engine, but as a scientist, I need to study what is happening inside the engine. In that case, we need to create or we need to simulate the diesel environment outside the engine. That's which we call it as a combustion chamber. It could be constant volume combustion chamber or constant flow combustion chamber. To give an example how it will look like, just I will show you, play a movie. Yeah. You may see here, this is the diesel spray. The one which you see here at the center is the injector, and the one which it came out is the spray, and then it was the flame. So we would like to, this was not done at IIP, but in IIP we have a low pressure chamber. So we would like to convert it into the high pressure chamber because diesel works on the high pressure chamber. So we are redesigning the chamber, combustion chamber. So if any PAs can learn that, if that PA comes to this project, he can learn 3-dimensional modeling such as SolidWorks, CATIA or AutoCAD. The third work is the studies on EV drivetrain topologies and e-rickshaws or three-wheelers. Already in previous slide you saw what was the electrical vehicle technology related projects. So you can learn EV subsystems integration at the vehicle level, EV data analysis methods and operation of the test equipment. In the alumni of this our division previously who did this kind of a works at our division is right now placed in TVS Motors, Sonalika Tractors, AVL India, ICAT, International Center for Automotive Technologies, all are automobile companies, and also they went for their further studies at IIT Delhi, and there are some taking their research careers at CSIR labs, and also some abroad universities such as COST and couple of US universities. Okay, Those earlier slides are for project trainees, but if you are any MTech students are there, if you are interested in the long-term PhD studies, these are the couple of projects which we come up with. The impact of new generation fuels on real driving emissions, and also the combustion development for increased use of biofuel blends in the engines, EV driving and charging energy studies, renewable hybrid energy system for EV charging, the supercapacitor and hydrogen fuel cell integration in electric vehicle, and fuel cell and capacitor management system. Okay, the ones whatever I covered is from FLAT, that means Automotive Fuels and Lubricants Application Division. We have another center called Advanced Tribology Research Center, which I will take all of you through the areas which they are working. Tribology, to give the introduction, tribology is the science and engineering of surface in contact and their relative motion. So, basically whenever there is two surfaces in contact, whether it is moving or not moving, there will be always associated with the friction. And when there is a friction, there is a wear. To minimize this friction and wear, we need the lubrication. So the study of this friction, wear and lubrication, we call it as a tribology. Almost every industrial application which has a moving component involves tribological aspects. The major research areas of this division are 5 research areas. First one is the fundamental and applied research, the friction, wear and lubrication fundamentals. Second one is the development of biolubricants and energy efficient lubricants. Recently, they ventured into the material science, which is they are working on the hydrogen storage. I will talk about in the next slides. And also, they are working on the modeling and simulation aspects of the tribological phenomena, and also the various new class materials of the tribology and the role of artificial intelligence or machine learning in these new class materials. Along with the research stream, we are also supporting by offering our technical services to the industry and also training the industry personnel, and also we are offering our expertise in policy formulation by Bureau of Indian Standards. So I will take through the main important projects which are handled by this tribology area. The first project is development of the lubricating oil for helicopter transmission gearbox. So here the purpose of the gearbox is to transfer the motion from one place to the another place. Yes, and at the same time to increase or decrease the torque. Generally, the gearboxes are always have in a physical contact, which are transmitting extreme amounts of load. If you are taking any of the car or heavy duty engine, it can transfer up to 1800 Newton meters of the load. So when you are transferring this energy or transmitting this energy at extreme loads, it eventually generates a lot of heat, and also there will be a lot of wear. So it is essential that the lubricant plays an essential role in this kind of the high load condition. So the objective of this project is to develop an extreme pressure additives for the gear lubricant, and also to modify the gearbox lubricating oil used in the helicopter transmission by this additive. And the second project is an investigation into the tribology of the 3D printed metallic components. I believe majority of you would have seen the 3D printing of plastic toys and some kind of a small school projects. But now 3D printing entered into the era of metals also. Recently General Electric also announced that they are making the 3D printed components of the gas turbine components. They are making some fuel injection nozzles, and also they are considering the blades also to be made by the 3D printing. Even though it is in advanced stage, but the tribological aspects of this 3D printed materials is not very well studied. So the objective of this project is to determine the nature of defects and compare with the conventionally processed ones. Conventionally processed means it could be machined, forged or casting components, and to explore the effect of microstructure morphology on the tribology of the 3D printed component, and also to investigate the influence of conventional heat treatment methods, and as well as the short pinning on the tribological behavior of the 3D printed components. The next project is basically comes under the material sciences. The project title is High Temperature Workability and Tribological Characterization of the High Entropy Alloys. Basically, the alloys are combination of 2 or more elements or 2 or more metals. The purpose of the alloying is to increase the properties, either it could be mechanical, thermal properties of any material. So recently, I think last decade, a new class of the material is called, which is called high entropy alloys. Generally, alloys are mainly we will mix 2 to 3, and it is only the composition of the extra materials are very low. But in a high entropy alloys, the mixture is more than 5 elements, and each element has plus or minus the similar composition. So the objective of this project is to develop a high entropy alloys with 10% superior tribological and mechanical properties over existing baseline material which is Inconel 625 for aero engine applications. Second one is in the similar project in high entropy alloys area, design and development of high entropy alloys using artificial intelligence for gas turbine applications. As I mentioned earlier, high entropy alloy means is a mixing of 5 to 6, more than 5 elements, and also in different ratios. When you are changing a specific element composition, obviously it eventually affect the mechanical properties, yes, or it may add additional manufacturing constraints, or the cost may be too high. So the purpose of the objective of this project is to use the artificial intelligence to optimize these material combinations and also develop the alloy which has a tensile strength 50% higher and ductility 20% higher than the existing internal alloy, and the primary target is the gas turbine applications. And the last project is high entropy alloys for hydrogen storage. So right now the conventional method of hydrogen storage is generally we are storing in the cylinders. So generally we are storing in the high pressure cylinders, but there is another way where we can store, even though application is limited, we can store it in the directly in the solid state materials. So right now the solid state materials has a hydrogen carrying capacity of up to 2% only at the room temperature, but the main objective is the project is to develop a high entropy alloy which push the storage capacity by at least 25%, that means 2% to 2.5% by weight. I think with this slide I conclude, and I thank you the organizers for giving me an opportunity to present here. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Padala, for your nice presentation. You discussed very well about the mechanical and material area. We have very well equipped engine testing lab and tribology lab in CSIR-IIP, where we can test the fuel and lubricant efficiency. Now I invite Dr. Deeptarka Dasgupta for his presentation. His presentation is related to biochemistry and biotechnology field. Dr. Deeptarka is a principal scientist working in biochemistry and biotechnology area in MRED of CSIR-IIP. He did his bachelor's in biotechnology from Kolkata and pursued his PhD from ACSIR. He is currently working in the area of industrial biotechnology for the production of renewable fuels and specialty chemicals from biomass. His research interests vary from microbial fermentation and genetic engineering of yeast to process sustainability analysis with LCA. During his brief research career, he published more than 33 journal articles. Now I invite Dr. Deeptarka Dasgupta.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jyoti, for the nice introduction. I am Dr. Deeptarka, and I will be presenting the research scope in biotechnology with the core and interdisciplinary expertise. Among the various fields of biotechnology, we are basically working in the area of white technology. So this is an applied area which involves the use of different microbial species for the generation of value-added products from various carbon sources. We are working towards the efficient conversion of renewable resources such as waste biomass and used cooking oil to generate value-added products. We do a little bit of microbial mapping, microbial omics mapping. We carry out large-scale fermentation to produce ethanol, nutraceutical products, and also a little bit into bioremediation. As I mentioned in our earlier slide, we are basically, our primary goal is on the valorization of renewable resources which vary from C3 to C12. We have developed a combinatorial process for the hydrolysis of the complex polymeric sugars that are present in the biomass to generate monomeric sugars, which we are converting further. We have developed fermentation based processes where the monomeric sugars such as C5 and C6 derived from biomass are converted into fuel alcohol such as a 2G ethanol, edible oil, edible materials such as artificial sweeteners, and also we are generating other energy alternatives. We also carry out, apart from this technological aspect that we are working on, we also carry out basic research in terms of genome analysis of organisms. So what do? Is basically we carry out the analysis to identify the genes and the enzymes that are present in the microbial system, which we can further tune to yield higher products with better selectivity. Now, if you look at the biotechnology area, for the last 5 years, we have had both national and global footprint. We are not only collaborating with research organizations, but we are also actively interacting with industries to develop processes for them and also to provide them services. We have had a connect with almost all the CSIR labs present in the country, with IITs, ISERs, and the central and state universities. In terms of the research output, we have nearly 2 technologies ready for commercialization. We have generated nearly 6 PhD students, one of who is present in Marsh Labs, Germany, as a fermentation scientist. We have had nearly 40 plus publications with high impact factors in the last 5 years and have nearly filed and granted patents, which number to around 5. So talking about the research areas, we have established a process for production of a commodity chemical called xylitol, which is also used as an artificial sweetener. Generally, the commercial process of this sweetener production is carried out by a chemical catalysis, which involves hydrogenation and high temperatures and pressures. But CSIR-IIP has developed an alternative route for the production of this particular chemical through a microbial system. The product that is generated, if you can see here, it has a purity of nearly 98% and meets the commercial standards. We have carried out a toxicity analysis of this product in animal models, that is female Wister rats, and they have shown no signs of toxicity. We are trying to further explore this technology to generate another product, which is a fatty acid ester called sugar C5 fatty acid esters, by using fatty acids from the used cooking oil. Used cooking oil, as my colleagues mentioned, can be used for the production of biodiesel, but a better option would be to valorize it for the production of fatty acid esters, which are low volume but high value products. So nationally, there is no technology for the biocatalytic xylitol or SFAE production, and there exists immense scope for use of renewable resources for the production of these materials, modification of the organism or to improve the product and yield selectivity, and also for enzyme engineering that can be targeted to generate a diverse array of the fatty acid esters. We are also valorizing the waste biomass such as sugarcane bagasse and industrial waste such as crude glycerol for production of different specialty chemicals. Sugarcane bagasse is hydrolyzed using cellulose enzymes to generate the monomeric glucose, which is being converted into lactic acid, which serves as a platform chemical by one of our in-house strains. Similarly, crude glycerol, which is a byproduct of the biodiesel industry, is getting converted into 1,3-propanediol through one of our in-house strains, and these can be further targeted for production of other products. The spillage of oil and other industrial effluents cause a lot of environmental impact. So to mitigate these environmental impacts, we have actually developed microbial consortia and also targeting enzymes which can break down these complex polyaromatic hydrocarbons into simpler monomeric forms. One research scope would be to actually study the effect of these breakdown by putting these broken materials into the soil and to check the metagenome analysis to see how the condition of the soil has changed, whether this is still toxic and is having an impact on the soil or they are environmentally benign. So by a combination of genomics, proteomics and bioinformatics, we can target the selective enzymes that are present in these microbes and improve the biodegradation. This is another important slide which involves the conversion of the sugars derived from biomass into a single cell oil, which is the yeast fatty oil. So what we basically do is the sugars are fed to a microorganism and the microorganism consumes this sugar and accumulates oil within its own cell. These oils can be either utilized as a lube based oil stock, or it can be secondarily converted as a drop-in fuel. Also, the lipid oil quality that we get has certain characteristics similar to the edible oil that is present in the market, more closely to the olive oil. So a lot of opportunities exist in this area, and we are focusing completely on the feed, process as well as the product. And we are trying to carry out a techno-economic analysis to see whether these processes will be economically and technologically feasible or not if scaled up. Now, one of the most important things is that once a biotechnology process is established, it should be scaled up. So, scaling up any process in biotechnology, any biotechnologically carried out reaction meets some challenges, and here is the role of chemical engineers. As Mr. Pradhan said, that interdisciplinary approach should be followed. So, we at biotechnology area are collaborating with chemical engineers in our institute so that we can actually give a process which is scaled up. Not only it should be confined to a laboratory scale. So once a process that we develop at a small scale, we carry out a process modeling and we try to estimate if we scale up what would be the cost of the process, what would be the energy that is involved, and ultimately the economics, whether it would be commercially and economically viable. So the role of chemical engineers here are that they enable the product recovery, they help in carrying out the material and energy balance, they help to carry out the capital and cost calculations and the techno-economical analysis. So coming to the academics from the research areas, we have also designed a course for the students here which span the areas of biochemistry, bioinformatics, enzymology and fermentation. Our goal is that the students must see and learn rather than learn and see. So we have lectures delivered by all 4 scientists that are in our area, and it involves both theory lessons with practical hands-on experiments. As my colleague Dr. Rajkumar Singh mentioned, that we are also giving skill development programs. So there are 3 skill development programs that we generally run, and it has been we are carrying out since 2018. So these gives an idea of the industrial aspects of recombinant biotechnology, gives an idea about the different enzymes that we use and how to purify them, to characterize them, and also we give hands-on training on the bioreactors, on what are the bioreactor configurations, how to operate them, and also how to design them. So around 50 plus students have been trained in this program who have been placed in various industries and academic institutions. So that's all from my side. If you have any questions, then I'm happy to answer.
Take their seats, please. One important key to success is confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. So how to prepare yourself for research as a career? Here we have our expert panel members of each field. So before starting the introduction, I introduce our eminent panelist. Dr. N. Vishwanatham is Chief Scientist and expert in catalyst field. Dr. Sunil Pathak is Senior Principal Scientist. He is Mechanical Engineering expert. Dr. Deepti Agrawal is Principal Scientist. He is an expert of biochemistry and biotechnology area. Dr. Rajkumar Singh is Principal Scientist and here as an chemistry, analytical as well as ACSIR expert. Mr. Prasenjit Ghosh is principal scientist and as a chemical engineer expert. Now, I invite all the students and faculty members to interact and ask their query or question to our esteemed panel members. You can ask your questions directly.
The academy and students, here the main purpose of this is for the interaction. Before going to any questionnaire and any other things, that the panelists of their specific area may give some base, in the sense, for example, if you have Dr. Pathak, he is in the mechanical engineering, maybe his views on the academy and how the connectivity will help, or what exactly the scope for the students or the academy to have the interaction. Some base, and each panelist, if they give some base, then maybe we can initiate the discussion. That may help. That's what I feel. Is it comfortable? I think that way. So they have to connect, and what way they can interact, they don't know at this stage. Maybe like similarly in biotechnology, if you have that, what is the scope of that academy inputs, and what are the areas that they are growing, and what are the expectations. Some base, if you know, then we can have the interaction like that. So each one of us, each one of the panelists may give briefly 1 minute, not taking 1 or 2 minutes like that. Then we will go into the discussion.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Viswanathanji. As rightly said by Sir, that we need to initiate the discussion for this particular discussion. And as already told that I am from the mechanical engineering field, but I would like to say that already said by some speakers that we should not leave it to our thinking in terms of research for one particular area, क्योंकि आजकल एरिया काफ़ी मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी हो गया है. सिर्फ एक क्षेत्र में एक एरिया को करेंगे तो शायद रिसर्च नहीं कर पाएंगे, और रिसर्च का जब प्रॉब्लम होता है, इशू होता है, तो उसमें काफ़ी एंगल से उसको देखना पड़ता है. तो आई एम पर्टिकुलरली इन द फील्ड ऑफ व्हीकल एमिशंस, ट्रांसपोर्ट रिलेटेड ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ड्राइविंग साइकिल, क्योंकि गाड़ी व्हीकल जब आपका सड़क पे चलता है तो मेन चीज़ एनर्जी कंजम्पशन होता है, एनर्जी को कंज्यूम कर रहा, और एनर्जी इज़ ए वेरी वाइड फिनोमेना. तो उसे सिर्फ एक पर्टिकुलर एंगल से देखेंगे तो शायद उसको पूरी तरीके से उस रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम को टैकल नहीं कर पाएंगे. मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूँ.
गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन. आप तो जानते हैं कि बायोटेक्नोलॉजी का जो प्रॉस्पेक्ट्स हैं वो धीरे धीरे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सस्टेनेबिलिटी, बायो रिफाइनिंग, ग्रीन प्रोसेसेस. तो बायोटेक्नोलॉजी का एरिया अब केवल मेडिसिन तक या कुछ और तरीके के कामों में सीमित नहीं रह गया है, लेकिन हम चाहते हैं बेसिकली, चूँकि हमारा एक इंस्टीट्यूट एक बायोफ्यूल और पेट्रोलियम इंस्टीट्यूट है, तो हम ऑल्टरनेट फ्यूल्स और पेट्रोकेमिकल्स पे ज़्यादा काम करते हैं, और मोस्टली हम उन संसाधनों को यूज़ करना चाहते हैं जो कि कृषि से निकल के बाहर आते हैं, और ये बेसिकली वो संसाधन हैं जो सेल्यूलोज में रिच होते हैं. और चूँकि आप बहुत अच्छी तरीके से साइंस के ग्रेजुएट से जानते होंगे कि जितने भी एग्रो इंडस्ट्रियल वेस्ट जो होते हैं वो बेसिकली सेल्यूलोज और हेमीसेल्यूलोज में रिच होते हैं. तो ये बेसिकली हम इनसे शुगर को एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं, जो कि मोस्टली ग्लूकोज फॉर्म में होता है. एक बार जब ग्लूकोज बन जाएगा तो आप कई तरीके के फ्यूल्स और पेट्रोकेमिकल्स उससे बना सकते हैं थ्रू फर्मेंटेशन प्रोसेस. तो हमारा जो एरिया है वो इसी तरीके के स्पेशलिटी केमिकल्स, फ्यूल्स और केमिकल्स पे काम करता है, और वी बेसिकली वर्क इनटू दिस एरिया. So this is a new emerging area in the biotechnology sector, and we promote this area at large in IIP. That's all.
Good afternoon to all. इसमें इन पर्टिकुलर हम एरिया वाइज कैटालिसिस से है केमिस्ट्री की। जनरली थिंकिंग हमें कैटालिसिस में देखा तो जनरली फंडामेंटल्स तो आप पढ़ते हैं, इधर इसको कैसे हम अप्लाई करते हैं इसमें, दैट लिंक आपको मालूम हुआ तो उसके थोड़ा फ़ायदा होगा। जैसे कि केमिकल काइनेटिक्स एंड थर्मोडायनेमिक्स, ये दोनों बहुत बड़ा प्ले करता है। किसी कन्वर्शन, किसी चीज़ को किसी चीज़ में बदलना है, सो आपको थर्मोडायनेमिक्स एंड काइनेटिक्स का मालूम होना है, ये बदल सकता है क्या नहीं। फ्री एनर्जी, ऊपर से माउंटेन से वाटर नीचे गिर रहा है, दैट इज़ फ्री एनर्जी चेंज इज नेगेटिव, मतलब वो स्पॉन्टेनियसली हो जाता है। सो फ्री एनर्जी चेंज जहाँ नेगेटिव है, थर्मोडायनेमिक्स कहता है कि वो हो जाएगा। सो ये हेल्प करेगा वो प्रिंसिपल्स। सो ऐसा जो प्रिंसिपल्स हम टेक्स्ट बुक में पढ़ते हैं हाई स्कूल में या कॉलेज में, उसकी एप्लीकेशंस इधर डायरेक्टली है। कोई भी एरिया आप लीजिए, इधर पेट्रोलियम संस्थान की इधर का पेट्रोलियम रिलेटेड, एनर्जी रिलेटेड रिसर्च है, इधर आप जो अप्लाई करते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमने मेडिकल ऑक्सीजन इधर की ये जो ग्रुप किया है, दैट इज वो आपको ऑस्मोलिसिस पता है, सेमी परमिएबल मेम्ब्रेन पता है। सो मेम्ब्रेन के एक जगह से दूसरा जगह ट्रैवल करता है गैस, सो जहाँ लेस डेंसिटी से ज़्यादा डेंसिटी तक वो जो कंसंट्रेशन की वो चलता है, और उस टाइप ऑफ प्रिंसिपल जो है ऑस्मोलिसिस में वो अप्लीकेबल हुआ है, सेपरेट करने में गैसेस के लिए वो अप्लाई हो रहा है। तो ऐसा ही जो ये आपकी फेज रूल एंड सॉल्वेंट्स डिजॉल्विंग प्रॉपर्टी, एक दूसरे में कैसे डिजॉल्व करते हैं, पोलर डिजॉल्व्स इन पोलर, ये सब आपको पता है। सो उसी फेज रूल और डिजॉल्विंग प्रोसेस से डिपेंड करके दैट रूम टेम्परेचर बायोडीजल बट एक्सट्रैक्शन कोनिकल फ्लैक्स से उसको सेपरेट करना, इस लेयर में ज़्यादा डिजॉल्व होता है, इस लेयर में कम होता है। बेसिक प्रिंसिपल वो है, बट एडवांस्ड स्टेट में इधर है। सो इसलिए वो जो आप जो भी आप उधर चैप्टर से पढ़ते हैं, उसका डायरेक्ट इम्प्लीकेशंस इधर है। सो आपकी वो कनेक्ट करना पड़ेगा। एक्चुअली एकेडमी इंस्टीट्यूट कनेक्ट मीन्स एक्चुअली उसको प्रिंसिपल को कनेक्ट किया तो आगे बढ़ सकता है। सो उसके लिए ये पर्पस है। अगर आपके कोई डाउट्स इसमें है तो फिर आप पूछ सकते हैं।
As mentioned by our acting directors, I am basically a chemist, and from a point of view of a chemist, if I will think that CSIR is a wonderful place actually to pursue a PhD, and CSIR pursuing the PhD in CSIR had added advantages actually. In some academia you can do the basic research also, and you are more focused on the basic research, but in CSIR labs, from basic research underlying science, you can have the opportunity to see the bench scaling up of the technologies or the science to the bench scale, and then you can see the realization of that technology into the industry. So this is more satisfactory for a researcher, and the CSIR is known for the resources actually, and it is my personal opinion that CSIR labs are very rich in terms of resources. We do have all the equipments what a chemist actually dreamed of for doing or pursuing the research, all the sophisticated research facilities, and we have come up in this particular government, we have opened up with the resources. You can see our website, that is Analytics CSIR. We have opened up all the resources to all the stakeholders. Even every student in the corner of the country may access us and may book the test, and they can have the results evaluated, or they can get the analytical facilities and the analysis done. So this is my view about the pursuing science in institutions like IIP, and we are a oil concern institute. We have an exciting field of research in CSIR. We are working on the sustainable. Lots of people are talking about the sustainable fuels. So all the sustainable future fuels we are working, right from the biodiesel, bio-ATF, bioethanol, 1G ethanol, 2G ethanol, DMEs, methanol. So all type of the sustainable and future fuels we are working. So this is an exciting field, and we are addressing the bigger problems. What actually the government also have the flagship programs for reducing the carbon emissions, as I have told you, and they have given Panchamrat. The PM has given the Panchamrat. So for actually to addressing these flagship programs, we have taking the initiatives, and we are working on that. So it is exciting field. I think this CSIR-IIP, and I also recommend and you to consider this institution for pursuing your further degrees, higher degrees actually. Thank you.
Good morning. So I hope that you all have been bored with what we have accomplished till date and what we are currently doing. So being a chemical engineer, if any of you are studying chemical engineering or even allied chemistry or industrial chemistry, you will understand that chemical engineering is a very versatile subject. We have applications right from any chemical industry, from silicon manufacturing, from microchip fabrication facilities, up to materials and metallurgy. In any heavy industry or even a light industry, you will come across chemical engineering aspects. So finding opportunities is not an issue, but what you have to do to find an opportunity is very crucial. You are at a stepping stone in your life. I would like to say, because it is a stepping stone, because from now on, this is where your career and your entire life depends upon. Okay, what you do right now will govern what you are finally become. So first of all, you have to see whether, because many people are dicey about whether they want to pursue research and development, whether they want to pursue a job. R&D is not basically a 9-to-5 job. It is almost a 24-hour thinking job. Even when you are sleeping, you have to have some thoughts about what you will be doing next tomorrow. How will you execute what you are planning to do 2 years ahead? So it's like things. So you have to have that fervor in mind. Wasting 5 years in PhD is better, is not worth if you are really want a proper desk job or something. Rather than wasting 5 years of there, at least prepare yourself 2 years ahead and then get yourself involved in 3 years job later on. That will give you a better experience as compared to a 5 years experience in a PhD which you are not interested in really pursuing it. So before going and stepping into a PhD, you have to think very well what you want to do in life and how you want to go. And you have to be very aware of the fact that the current unemployment rate in India specifically over the last 2 years have increased twice as compared to what it was the previous years ahead. So this is a number that you should always keep in mind. And at the same time, how you are utilizing your time right now by involving yourself in whatever irrelevant activities. I am being a bit blunt because people have already spoken about what we do in IIP, what we can offer you in IIP. Those things are obviously known to us. We are always open whenever you want. Heads of your institute, authorities of an institute can anytime contact us, and we are always there to help you out on those sort of things. PhD opportunities, courseworks, everything is available on site. You can go through and everything. But our suggestion, as we have our experience in the fact that we are already employed. We are doing a job. We are employed. We are most of us are settled in life. The thing is that for you, as a students who are just entering into this phase, it's very important that how you inculcate the habit of being more curious in nature. Because until unless you have curiosity within yourself, you will never accomplish anything in life, be it in private sector, be it in public sector, be it in anywhere. This is a time of competition. Everyone beside you is a competitor for you. It is who you have to achieve. You do not have to look what others are doing. If you are not serious about yourself, nobody will help you out in the future. And it is very true for my kids as well. My kid is only 3 years old, but I still worry for him by the time he will be 20 years old. Because at that number of engineering colleges, number of science institutes in India are gradually increasing, and the number of students who are increasing. The only thing is that you have to be very sure about what you want to do and how there are a lot of opportunities, not that, and there is a dearth of opportunities, especially in this age of digitalization and modernization. Okay. So, in my personal opinion, how would you go about it? At least start reading things. Many people lack here is the fervor reading. You don't read books, you don't read articles in newspapers, you don't read articles on websites. Net pe, Facebook, वगैरह, Reels वगैरह, those things are there, memes and वगैरह. But at the end of the day, a few years down the line, you yourself will become a meme if you don't inculcate those habits. Okay. You see the meme on that government boy is marrying a girl with lot of jewels in Kerala and whatever, those kind of memes. So it is true for both. The boys accomplish something, so by working hard. So until unless you work hard, nobody will succeed. Nobody will help you succeed. Even Shah Rukh Khan had to work hard from where he is now, right now. If your ambition is a kind of, I mean to say Maruti Suzuki car, you will never achieve a BMW in life. So it is what you want to do, it's what you want to, and how you achieve it. It's everything is in there on the internet. What we lacked beforehand, हम लोग के पास information नहीं था. We were from that age, but now everything is available. You have to do courses, ample courses, free courses. Do as many courses, increase your skill sets. Put your profile on LinkedIn, see what kind of job profile suit you. You have to be very interdisciplinary. As you can see, you have to do coding, you have to do everything. So I just gave you a very general talk. But the thing is that chemical engineering in IIP has already been covered. And as I said, it is a versatile subject. So there are a lot of opportunities. We do PhD courses. We are under the CSIR activities. So those things are already there. So nothing is new for them and already covered. So giving it the best in life. So we can make the best out of it.
Thank you, Prasanjit. Now let's give the chances to the students to interact. And faculty also, if they have some suggestion or queries, they can ask. I welcome all the students. Please.
Hello, I am Dr. Achlesh Dabre from Doon University, and we have MOU with IIP as well. My question is from Dr. Dipti, ma'am. I have seen that there is a lot of programs, training programs for postgraduate students, and our PG students are also doing some internship and other things here. But my question is whether it is also possible for undergraduate students of biological sciences.
We do give some training for undergraduate students as well, but sometimes since the training program is mostly restricted to 2 months or 3 months, then it's very difficult for us to accommodate, because by the time we train them in a proper way, probably the time is over. So if the time of your project work is a minimum of 6 months, then probably it would be much better. Because as you know, in biological sciences field, or especially in biotechnology or microbiology, the microorganisms, dealing with microorganisms takes a little more longer time. So probably if you go for at least 6 months training, then we can properly train a student in a better way, rather than just giving them glimpses of things, which most of the BTech or BSc students do. So if you want a proper hands-on training, then a minimum of 6 months is required. So I think that academia should change their course curriculum or something like that, so that at least they can spare the students for 6 months for hands-on experience, for gaining a hands-on experience. That's what I feel.
That I think we have a little bit modified as per the NEP 2020, and in that 4th year student they will be doing some 6-month project work.
Then it's really beneficial for them, because 2 months or 2.5 months is not advisable, especially for biotech students. Probably in chemical engineering or chemistry, the reactions may last for 6 to 8 hours, but probably in biotechnology they may last for 24 hours or 48 hours. So by the time you get the results, a minimum of 6 months training is preferable for us.
I have another question that I have seen the research in the area of biotechnology. So you people are working on 1st generation, 2nd generation and 4th generation of biofuels, but why not the 3rd generation of biofuels?
We are working on 3rd generation of biofuels, because one of my students who is also a principal scientist Dr. Jayati Trivedi. She has been working on microalgal cultivation and had been studying the biodiesel properties from that. So we have not abandoned that particular area, but now since second generation biofuels is picking up very fast, and people are thinking that just concentrating on ethanol may not work out, so we are working on specialty chemicals, especially from second generation feedstock at present. The main thrust area has changed right now because seeing the government implementations and future commercialization, we feel that second generation feedstock is much better to work upon. And at basic focused research level, some kind of that, we are working on third generation as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Just adding.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Pankaj and I am a technical officer from CPET. My question is related with the research which Dr. Rajkumar sir has shown, that they are using some vegetable oils, used vegetable oils to make some diesel or biodiesels. So my question is like, whatever diesels we are getting from used oil, what is the cost of that diesel after process? Because in India, first the question is collecting the vegetable oil from the local vendors or from where you are collecting, because collecting the oils from the houses or from the shops wherever you are getting, and then processing and then getting the diesel, whatever diesels we are getting, the cost in between, how's it like, is it feasible that local people can buy that diesel easily in a limited cost?
The cost actually depends on the prices of the feed also. So the cost of the vegetable oil is very volatile actually. Earlier we are getting it at 30 rupees per liter UCOs. Now it has been increased also. As far as the processing cost is concerned, if you include the cost of the feed also, it also depend on the scale up. If you could able to scale up this biodiesel production, if you are processing almost 2000 liters per day, then the cost will be very, very reasonable, and you can have the final product with the value of almost 57 or like that, 57 rupees. So it depends on the scale up only. If you higher capacity plants will give you the product at a reasonable cost actually.
But sir, getting the oils from the local vendors, how is it possible? Like because in India, अगर normal houses में देखें तो we don't have waste oils. हम लोग क्या करते हैं, टॉपिंग करते हैं, बिकॉज आप कहीं भी जाएंगे वो टॉपिंग समोसा बना रहा है, वो उसी के ऊपर नया ऑयल ही इज पुटिंग वेस्ट हाउसेस.
You are right that Indian societies is not very much aware about the toxic effect of or the health effects of the repeated frying oil actually. It is related to the hepatomegaly and all the cancer causing chemical polyacrylamides are generated total compounds. If they are more than 25%, it is very hazardous for the health. But you are rightly mentioned that we are not aware actually, and we don't have the supply chain also, supply collection and all that. We in institute also we were facing problem for collection problems, so we have done the MOUs with one local NGO actually, that is the Social Development Association, and they are actually collecting from the big resorts and all that UCO, and they are providing us. So if the awareness will be there, so more and more collector would be come into this business, and then the collection mechanism could be established. And we have estimated, as I have told you, that if we could be able to harvest only 10% of the UCO, so we can have almost 2.7 million metric ton of the feed, UCO feed, and that could give almost 60-70% of the yield of the biodiesel. So a good substantial amount of the biodiesel you will get. And we have a demand of almost 5 million metric ton, because we have to blend 5% into the diesel. We have the consumption 100 million metric ton diesel, so 5 million metric ton is required. So you are rightly said, we are also trying to sensitize the students also. We are running some awareness programs in the Kendriya Vidyalayas and all that, so that the people could be aware and they could throw this used oil for the biofuel production. Thank you.
So I have one more question regarding biojet fuel. That you have mentioned that you have tried that biojet fuel in 2018 with SpiceJet. Is there some other aviation industries, those who are using that biofuels, and if they are using biofuels, how it is better than the normal fuels what they are using, sir?
First thing is that since we are getting it from the sustainable sources, so the carbon footprint will be very low. You are deriving it from the plants that are initially they are capturing the carbon dioxide and they are fixing it in terms of the biomass. So then if you are deriving these biojet fuel out of these renewable sources, so the carbon footprints will be 0. So that is the advantage. And if you see the specification of Jet A1, you will find that the limitation of the sulfur is as high as 3000 ppm. But in the biojet we are getting from this vegetable oils or tree-borne oils, since tree-borne oil doesn't have the sulfur, so it has very low amount of the sulfur in your products. So that is added advantage of using sustainable fuels.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Rapti Saha. I am from Doon University. I have a question towards ma'am regarding the lecture Dr. Das Gupta gave. In his lecture, sir mentioned about a certain course for biocatalysis and bioprocessing, which includes the use of microbial genomics and enzymes in collaboration with 4 more subjects of biochemistry, enzymology and fermentation. Could you please kindly give a little bit more information regarding this course and who are eligible for it?
Actually, this is a skill development course that we are running, and basically there are 4 different courses which we are running into this particular module in the skill development program. One is the biocatalysis and downstream processing course, where we allow the students to grow the organisms and extract the enzymes from that. Mostly, since we are working in the area of biofuels, we mostly work in the area of cellulases enzyme, which is one of the primary enzyme for cellulose degradation, and we show how this enzyme can be extracted from the organism, how it can be purified, and we also show the application part of that particular enzyme, how it works. And when we purify the enzyme, at what concentration this enzyme has to be purified so that all its components remain intact. So that kind of training we give into the downstream processing and bioprocessing part. Whereas in fermentation, we mostly talk about the fermentation aspects, that what kind of DO you have to maintain, what kind of ratio of your C to N by ratio you have to maintain in order to maximize your product. What are the various physiochemical parameters that you have to optimize while working on the fermenter level. So we have 1 liter fermenter, we have 5 liter fermenter, we have 500 liter fermenter. So we give hands-on training up to 5 liter level so that you can understand what are the various processes which have to be taken care of, how you have to keep clean the fermenter after use, and how you have to optimize the pH probe, all that kind of stuff, how DO2 levels affect the productivity of your microbes. So all these kind of studies we carry out in fermentation aspect. And in bioinformatics, we mostly work into the genome, how you have to identify particular gene, but probably Dr. Deeptarka, who is the expert into this particular area, may throw more light upon it, that what kind of bioinformatics course and what kind of subjects he shows. So it would be better that Dr. Deeptarka talks about it in detail.
Hi. So in the bioinformatics area, we are basically trying to analyze what genes are actually present in the organism. So we carry out the whole genome analysis to identify the genes. We carry out pathway mapping, annotation of these genes, And also we try to find out what important enzymes are there. So if we are working with a particular microbe, so we try to find out what properties it can actually, we can use of it, so that whether it can produce a particular chemical, whether it has certain enzymes which are useful for bioremediation purpose. So we try to find out the structure of the enzyme, try to find out its active site, how the interaction with the substrate will take place, and if we can carry out any selective modification of its structure regarding the active sites, or so that it can accept a wide range of substrates, or it can produce a product with certain specificity. So this is generally what is covered in this bioinformatics. Also we carry out certain amount of gene expression analysis to actually find out what is the expression level of the genes, because only identifying the gene will not do. We have to identify how it is getting expressed, whether it is getting expressed at higher levels or lower levels.
Okay. This is the last question, please.
Sir, my final question to you would be, what is the eligibility criteria for this skill coursework? Like which students are allowed to pursue this skill program?
The entry level is you should be at least MSc.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
समय की बाध्यता है, इस वजह से यह सेशन हम यहीं समाप्त करते हैं। और आपको और भी कोई क्वेरी है तो आप ड्यूरिंग लैब विजिट्स में या लंच टाइम में कंसर्न पर्सन से पूछ सकते हैं। इसी के साथ ही मैं सभी पैनल मेंबर्स की आभारी हूँ व स्टूडेंट्स एंड फैकल्टीज को उनकी क्वेरी में उनके मार्गदर्शन के लिए धन्यवाद देती हूँ। आशा है कि सभी विद्यार्थी अपने एकेडमिक से रिसर्च में कैसे अभिरुचि जगाकर आगे बढ़ सकते हैं यह जान पाए होंगे व इससे लाभान्वित हुए होंगे। अपने एकेडमिक कैरियर में बेसिक्स को पढ़कर कैसे रिसर्च में अप्लाई करें और बड़ी बड़ी टेक्नोलॉजी की ओर अपनी सहभागिता दें, ऐसा आप सभी छात्र जरूर प्रोत्साहित हुए होंगे। आप अपनी स्टडी को आगे भी अप्लाई करें, ऐसा मेरा मानना है। लास्ट में मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूँगी कि कौन पहुँचा है कभी अपनी आखिरी मंजिल तक, हर किसी के लिए थोड़ा आसमान बाकी है। ये तुझको लगता है कि तू उड़ने के काबिल नहीं, ये तुझको लगता है कि तू उड़ने के काबिल नहीं, सच तो ये है कि तेरे पंखों में अभी भी उड़ान बाकी है। धन्यवाद। इसी के साथ ही यह सेशन यहीं समाप्त करते हुए मैं आप सभी को लंच के लिए आमंत्रित करती हूँ। नेक्स्ट सेशन में आफ्टर लंच लंच के बाद में लैब विजिट्स है और आफ्टर लैब विजिट्स आप अपनी सर्टिफिकेट रजिस्ट्रेशन डेस्क से करेक्ट कर सकते हैं। और आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि कृपया करके एक ग्रुप पिक के लिए आगे मंच की तरफ आ जाएं और ग्रुप पिक के बाद आप सभी लंच पर आमंत्रित हैं। कृपया सभी से अनुरोध है कि कृपया करके जल्दी जल्दी आ जाएं क्योंकि लंच टाइम हो गया है। थोड़ा फास्ट आगे आ जाएं।